We're live. Yeah, we're live.
What wine are you drinking?
Some rosé. It's actually not that strong at all. It's because I don't really like wine.
Okay.
It's this Moscato, like Moscato something or other. It's really quite low in percentage, so it's not very winey.
I've never been a massive wine drinker.
No, me neither. But this was I had it one time when, to be fair, I think I was drunk when I drank it because I don't really drink wine unless I am drunk.
Yeah.
And I tried it and I was like, that's really nice. And then I thought maybe it's me because I'm that drunk. Maybe that's why I think it tastes nice. So I tried it the day after and it was still nice. So I thought, yeah. It's something I can drink on a casual now. So
Yeah.
it's still got a bit of a to it, like a winey, but you know.
I think the last time I had wine, I was mixing my drinks and it didn't end too well. bit of a messy night.
Yeah, it never does. If you're going to drink wine, you need to just drink wine.
Yeah.
Because it's a lethal combination otherwise.
Wait for a few people to come in.
Oh, you're on the heavy stuff there. Tea, baby.
PG tips.
PG tips.
Oh, yes.
Friday night.
It's dangerous having shortbreads in the cupboard because I just plough through them, especially when I got a cup of tea. It's just like full on.
I'm the same with like Jaffa cakes. Jaffa cakes, mate. Like there's a pack of Jaffa cakes there. They're not lasting an hour.
No
chance.
Just give it another minute or so, and then we can crack on.
Let some people people turn up.
Yeah.
No, I've literally this moment just finished watching all of Prison Break.
Oh, did you?
And I mentioned it last week because it was season 5. It was one I hadn't finished. And when it originally came out a couple of years ago, I never actually finished it because I was watching it week by week and I got a little bit bored of it.
Yeah.
And then I just never went back to it. So we've just finished binging it, and it's now done. So I feel like I'm free of the shackles of Prison Break a little bit.
Nice.
I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I'm glad it's done now.
How long did it take for
Evening, everyone?
To come?
Huh?
How long did it take for the Milton Lloyd to come?
2 days.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I got that and the Clubs Nui, and the same thing. So it took 2 days.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. Evening all.
Hello, Heather. Hello, Mr. Edwards.
How are we on this fine evening?
How's the heat, Heather? On the other live stream, you said it was getting a bit hot. I think it's starting to cool down here in the UK now.
Yeah, the wind today was mad, absolutely mad, wasn't it? But it was weird though because it was still hot.
Yeah.
Like if you went out in the sun and like the wind stopped, you would feel the heat like instantly. But as soon as that wind picked up, it was like ferocious.
Yeah.
Tony, how we doing, mate?
Love the live stream, Tony. Big thank you.
Yeah, it was really good.
Out.
Yes, thanks very much, mate.
Really appreciate it.
$78 degrees. What's that? You want to send him? Do you want to send that through to Dan? Yeah. 78 degrees. What's that? What's that in Celsius? What's 78 degrees in Celsius?
No clue.
I'm gonna have to quickly Google that. 78 F in degrees. 21 degrees. Yeah, that's about what we've been experiencing. Heather.
Tony, what did you go for in the end? With your food? We got Chris in the house.
All right, Chris, how's it going?
All right, mate.
Yeah, big Mr. man Andy, Mr. Hughes. Yeah, it's So I just looked it up, Heather. 78 in Fahrenheit. It's about 21 in Celsius. So it's about what we've been having, to be fair. Especially today, it was about just about that. But we've been seeing much higher in the last couple of days.
Heather says she can only see her comments.
Interesting. Might be something we need to take a look at.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that, Heather. See what's going on.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
I want to shout out Tony's Bex's Fragdicted Snaps page.
Yeah, it's wicked, by the way.
Yeah, really great photos.
Tony, I don't know if you saw the message earlier on and you were telling her that who I was, but I subscribed kind of like the day that I saw. I followed the day that I saw that she had a page, so you can reassure for me that I'm definitely following her.
Yeah, definitely.
Most special rap, Tony. Most special rap. What's so special about it? That sounds filthy. Should we get into it? Do you want to?
Yeah.
Do you want to get into it? Yeah, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Cool. So one of the first fragrances that I've worn this week. I think I've banged on about this enough times, and it holds a dear little spot in my heart, and that is Mr. Gourmand.
Yes,
Mr. Purple Gourmand. I think this one just gets better every time. It's
so good.
Yeah,
it is so good.
Yeah, I think I felt like before it got released, I felt like I was hyping it too much, and I think I got a bit worried that when it got released, everyone was going to go, "This is horrendous." But I'm glad everyone enjoyed that.
Mate, like I remember the first time you oh gosh, yeah, I remember the first time we were in work, you were like, I've got something for you to try. And I was like, yeah, go on then. You banged it on my hand and I was just like, I cannot get enough of that at all.
Yeah.
I can't get enough. Like I need more of that in my life. And I'm so we've got a special guest.
Mr. Edwards, I think we need to take the banner down.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's take the banner down. Yeah. How's it going?
My audio is awful.
Don't worry.
But yeah, like, can you hear me?
Hold on. I can hear myself talk, and then it's coming back to me about 30 seconds later.
And I am loving them kills.
Oh, don't look at this.
Them kills.
Lockdown's treating your hair famously, mate.
Loving them kills. So we're just going over the fragrances at the minute, what we've been wearing for the week. So
give me one sec.
Yeah.
My audio's got a 20-second delay.
20 seconds.
Can't you use headphones? These.
Dodgy iPhone user on it.
Oh, right, okay.
Lightning jack, mate.
Couldn't find one anywhere.
I'm using a lightning jack in mine, unless you've got a really old one.
No, you're not. You're using a USB-C. So am I. It's Huawei. It's not lightning jack. It's Apple.
I'm getting Chris, my audio twice. So it's
Purple Gourmand is fire. It's absolute fire. I was just saying that when Nick first brought it into work and I smelled it, I just couldn't get enough of it. I think more than anything, I think it's the caramel. The caramel in it is and it just sticks to you. It's wicked. And now, day of release, I made sure that that was a day one purchase. Couldn't not have that.
So what was one of yours this week?
Oh, we'll keep on Pocket Scents theme then, shall we? Because of the warmer weather, I've been reaching for this.
All Pineapple Sauvage,
mate. I can't deny the opening of this, mate. I absolutely love the pineapple in it. It's amazing, and I know that he says that he didn't quite get it 100% right.
Yeah, but
I absolutely love it. I even on the dry down, like I don't feel it's Sauvage-y. I feel like it's its own kind of. It's Sauvage-y. Is that a word? But I feel like it's its own thing. But I I think for all the kind of like Aventus style fragrances out there, I think the pineapple opening in this is it's hard to beat. It's definitely hard to beat.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
It is really nice.
Yeah. Tony,
You might
Brilliant.
have to kick me out because I'm hearing everything twice.
Right, Dan. We'll tell you what. We'll remove you from the stream and then follow the link back in and see what happens, mate.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
My next one is Perfume Parlour's Scent of Peace. So I'm a massive fan of Bond Number 9 Scent of Peace, and this one is a bang on. To be fair, I probably wouldn't purchase the original Bond Number 9 just because of how good. I keep getting confused still with the camera.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, just how good this one is. If you haven't tried it, I'd probably say this is one of my top ones from Perfume Parlour. I absolutely love this, and I know a few people at work asked me what I was wearing. They got it, and they were talking about how many compliments they were getting with this one. And so this Scent of Peace is an awesome one from Perfume Parlour. Is
the spray on any different in performance and smell to the roll on? Because I tried the roll on that you bought from it.
I think this is better because I can spray it more on my clothes.
Yeah.
And it just lingers a bit more. And the roll on will last longer. Yeah, this one, I think you get a bit more of a cloud with this. Heather, no, this one wasn't in my top 10. But I'm sure it will make it soon, though.
Alex, is Spice Bomb still a thing? It absolutely is still a thing. I spoke about an interpretation I've got of that last week. So yes, you are correct in asking if Spice Bomb is a thing. It is.
Was Spice Bomb your thing, Alex?
No worries, Chris. Thanks for
mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate it, mate. My next one, again, I think it's the warmer weather that's getting me reaching for the more freshy type of.
Does that work any better?
I can hear myself. You're coming through fine.
I think it's just your crap headset.
It's not working any better.
Dan, why don't you just try and find some headphones? I'm sure you've got some somewhere. Yeah, we'll get to movies soon, Cheese Bro. We've got some things lined up for movies.
Yes, we've got plenty of things to talk about for movies. So definitely stay tuned for that. So like I said, I think it's the warmer weather that's making me reach for some freshies, but I've only got a smaller bottle. This is a 30ml bottle. It's Versace Pour Homme, and it's just it's a really, 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 really inoffensive one. It's like one of those you can just keep spraying and spraying and spraying, and it's not really going to choke anyone out. It's really it's just really shower jelly, fresh type of thing. So jump out the shower straight on. And like I said, I think it's the warmer weather that's making me reach for these. I think looking at what I've got in front of me, there's a lot of blue here. Yeah. Not filth or anything like that. But I think it's the warmer weather that's bringing it out of me. But this is just really, really easy-going, really inoffensive, and really, really appealing. So it's an easy dumb reach for me for warmer weather. And the bottles are wicked as well. I know this is only a smaller one, but I love the bottles on it and the cap. Like I think it's just my personal preference, but I just love the bottles on this with the Medusa head in the front. But yeah, I love it.
An old school one I'm going for. So this one
old school
is I worn when I was, I'd probably say when I was 16. I can remember wearing this bad boy, and it is
Ultraviolet.
Violet. Still a sexy beast.
It's
I
nice.
think,
That's
yeah.
nice.
Again, this is one, if you spray it on your clothes or your jacket, it's going to linger, and it will just stay on the jacket for a long time. Really love Ultraviolet, and it's stayed in my collection for that many years. Beauty, that one.
The next one I'm going to go over is like 3 samples actually. Oh, he's connected to a device now.
Yeah, I've used my phone.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. That's fine.
Camera's better than my laptop anyway.
That's fine. Cool. So yeah, the next ones I've got are actually it's 3 samples that I've got rather than a full size bottle, but they're all different samples, and these are from Scent Library, and they're all just interpretations, which they're actually pretty nice, to be fair. So it's BR540, Tom Ford Noir Extreme, and Vanille Fatale. Each one of them are really nice. I've just been testing them out really just to kind of see what's what on them, and the BR540 is very, very much what you would expect from it, really. Third time lucky, yeah, we hope. The one that's most interesting out of this one is the Tom Ford Noir Extreme version of it, because it doesn't smell like Noir Extreme, but it's not a million miles away. Yeah, and it's really quite it's quite creamy. The one that I'd like the least is the Vanille Fatale, because it opens up with lots of vanilla, which is really nice, but it goes really powdery at the end, and it's quite old lady-ish.
No wonder you enjoy it. Sorry.
My last one is Chanel Allure or Extreme.
Oh, Extreme!
That's my favourite.
It's really nice.
I remember my my error with that bottle. I'm missing the strip when
yeah, beauty, that one.
And then the last ones I've got is, again, it's 2, but it's only for a side-by-side comparison. So it's JPG Le Beau. You like that bottle there, Dan?
I like the bottle. Not sure about the scent.
Mate, it's
a bit too sweet for Dan.
And the reason that I say this one, and the other thing that I'm going to be talking about is this, because I feel like they're extremely similar. It's Date for Men, Dan, your favourite.
It's a bit expensive, that stuff.
So,
if anyone's seen the review,
I think they're really, really similar in a lot of ways, and I'll be doing a full-on review of both of them, their similarities, because I know that you said it's ultra male that you kind of got a vibe from.
Male from it,
but I get this in abundance, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of a kind of like a first impression side by side, because I do think that they're really, really similar. Both really nice, but very, very similar. But I'll go on.
What have you been rocking, Dan?
Fragrances.
Yeah,
I spoke to you the other day, and I don't tend to wear any when I'm at home, so I've not really put some on. So I have prepared one for you all.
Oh.
And this week I've mainly been using Glade, because my arse has been terrible. It's Ocean Adventure. It's got a real, gentle fragrance. It's very refreshing. I won't recommend spraying it near your mouth like I just did.
Yeah, I think you sprayed mine a lot throughout my arms.
I haven't really worn it. Probably, I think the only one I've had on is Sauvage. That's upstairs, and I don't even know what it is. Just one that was given to me at some point. I don't know. I don't tend to buy fragrances, guys. I'm quite tight.
Is that a real Sauvage, or is it a?
Oh no.
Fake
In fact, I think the last true fragrance I wore is when I came to your desk and stole your Allure, because I love this stuff. So that's what I tend to do for fragrances, guys. Is I I'll walk around at work, find where Nick's sat, and take whatever he's got on his desk that day.
It seems to be what a lot of people at work do, if I'm being honest.
Or Debenhams on your lunch break.
Oh yeah.
Get a few strips.
Yeah. Cool. So, should we crack on with some of the movie stuff?
Yeah, there's some big movie stuff to talk about.
Before we get on the movies, what are some of your guys' future purchases for fragrances? Let us know in the comments, and then we can go through them.
I know what mine is.
Yeah, I've wrote a few that I'm going to go over. So, my first film that I've watched this week, and it was a bit disappointing, was the remake for Child's Play.
Oh, the Chucky thing.
Didn't enjoy it at all. So they've gone for the AI route, and it just didn't feel as scary, because I think the original, for me, you felt like someone was in the doll. You felt like it had a soul, whereas this new one,
Chucky,
felt like it was just a computer that's just gone wrong. And I think they tried to add a bit too much comedic element to it. I don't know, just didn't rate it.
Have you watched it?
I've never seen it. No, I wanted to, and then Andy Hughes is in the comments. He went to see it, and I think he said he didn't mind it, but it's not. You're not gonna rave about it or anything like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, but yeah, I never at that point, because no one else kind of was suggesting it to me. I just kind of thought, well, I'll leave it. I'm not that bothered by it, to be fair. So I gave it a miss. If I'm being honest, I'm not a massive Child's Play fan anyway. Like Chucky, it's not a horror franchise that ever really excited me. So I've seen a few Chucky, like Bride of Chucky. I think it's The Seed of Chucky, and they all just get a little bit ridiculous. To the point where I can't really take it seriously as a movie, so I just left it. I think
just 1 and number 3 are my favourite.
Yeah, the original Child's Play is probably the best.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I was just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Tony, yes, we all work together, mate, for our sins.
Mark Jacobs Bang. I don't know if that is still around.
Bang.
I can remember when that came out, loads of people loved the Bang. But
love the Bang. Is Dan drinking neat vodka, pretending it's tea?
Listen, I wanted to mention this, and sorry for everyone because this isn't movie related, but when I was watching the live stream last week, and you did a great job, a really good job, but I don't know if it's the age gap or the fact that I'm unhealthy, but how the hell do you go 2.5 hours without taking a piss? I don't know. Incredible.
A massive shit after.
I went for one just before. So I'll only need one during. And it's a cup of tea, and it's a cup of tea, mate.
Yeah, that's what they say.
What have you watched this week?
Nightcrawler, mate.
Oh yeah,
Jake Gyllenhaal. I remember when I watched this movie, I missed it in the cinema. I really wanted to watch it, and I missed it. So I watched it when it was released afterwards. And I can remember the first time I watched it, I was just kind of like, it's one of those movies that, like, you're confused about what's happening because you can't picture someone actually doing the things that he actually does in this movie. So Dan, I was talking to you about this earlier on. You've not seen it. I won't spoil anything for you, but it's a really dark movie. And Jake Gyllenhaal plays this kind of like unhinged cameraman who picks up on kind of like accidents and things like that. And he starts to go down a bit of a dark path to be able to kind of get fame and stuff like that. But the way that Gyllenhaal plays it is awesome. It really is awesome because he's very unhinged. And in fact, I think I spoke to someone about it saying there's a scene in that where he grabs a a mirror, like a bathroom mirror, and start shaking it. And someone said that he'd be a really good candidate for a Joker. I don't know if you would agree. I think he'd probably do a better job of Batman, to be honest. But yeah, from that scene alone, I was like, yeah, he could play an absolute maniac.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good maniac. He's
I
don't know about
can't
Joker.
I can't even begin to think of anybody playing Joker at the moment. Because
Well, I mean, there is only
that
one.
role is just
There's only
just
one
changed
Joker.
the role completely.
There's only one Joker.
Yeah. Well, he's gone, mate.
No,
So
no,
sorry.
no. He will live.
You're on about Nicholson, aren't you?
Yeah, no.
Who's the Joker then?
There's the only one Joker that's worth discussing. Jared Leto.
Go on.
Jared Leto.
And can we kick
forever.
him off this stream? I don't know if I've got access to kick him off. I just block him with my thumb. Fucking Jared.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that soon.
You can go off people, you know.
I started. I've not finished it yet. I started watching that Bad Times at the El Royale.
El Royale, yeah. Is that Hemsworth?
Yeah, and I really liked John Hamm. He's really good in it. From
John
what I've
Hamm's
seen,
wicked, anyway.
I've not watched the full film, but he's really good in it, and it's got Jeff Bridges, where his name is linked to the Tron film. I think it's called Father Flynn, and I was like, I'm sure that's a link to Tron.
Last thing I saw John Hamm in was Baby Driver. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Wicked movie. Really, really good movie. But John Hamm's all rounder.
It's a bit of half and half. Some people think it's a pile of crap, and then some people love it.
This is what I was talking about. So Andy here said
Gyllenhaal
would be a perfect Joker. Watch any scene where he loses it, and he would nail that role. And that's what I was talking about, where he grabs the camera. Grabs the mirror and starts shaking it, and he's going absolutely crazy. And he's got this like menacing, evil look in his eye, and you kind of think, yeah, he could probably nail a very. I know the Joker's unhinged anyway, but a very unhinged and kind of like crazy Joker. But I suppose you have to see it to be able to kind of see it, if that makes sense. Like it's not something you could picture in your mind's eye unless you're actually watching him lose it.
Dan,
fake. That 21 mug.
Is he stuck? Or is he playing a game with us?
I really hope he's playing a game.
So my video's completely gone.
Yeah.
If anyone else's has.
You've just got a nice thumbnail.
The 21 basically is my weight.
You been watching anything else, Nick?
So I've watched one episode of Mark Ruffalo's new show. I know this much is true. Yeah, it looks really good. It's where he's playing twins. One of the Mark Ruffalo twins is a schizophrenic, and yeah, it seems good so far. I've not watched any other episodes, but the first one that I watched, yeah, really good. It was a good recommendation. And then I think the last thing I've been watching lately, because I like all my like alien UFO stuff, is Project Blue Book. And that's around it's a bit of fantasy and a bit of real life cases about like UFO stuff. Yeah, it's a decent show. It's just something to watch, really.
Yeah.
Mr. Green, any reviews on? I mentioned Chanel.
As the slow.
Yeah. And did a Chanel battle a good few months back. So yeah, he did a bit of a first impressions and review on Chanel.
Tony's going mad. Tony's going mad here. He's not happy. He wants his food.
I'd ask for some discount next time you get a takeaway.
Mate, I did it at I think it was last week. I ordered some food and I ordered it 7:45, and it didn't come until 10:15. It was it was a 2-hour wait. It was mad.
Should have gone with pizza Tony, mate.
Yeah. Hologram of John Candy for Joker.
That would be genius. I love John Candy.
I suppose the last thing I can mention about not movies as such. I finished Prison Break off this week. Actually, just today. Actually, I finished it completely now. So any Prison Break fans out there will can appreciate the last season. Well, I say appreciate. I don't know if you can appreciate the last season. I think it was just a bit of a let's try it like 8 years later and see if it lands. But the first time I started to watch it when it was actually out on TV, I got bored of watching it. So I suppose that's a testament to how good it really is. I suppose you can only really watch it if you binge it, because it's problem is they leave like every single episode on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So waiting a week, it's kind of like, right. So, but you can binge it. It's easier, much easier.
I've got a question for any of the fragrance guys. Has there been any good YouTube reviews that you've watched this week? I think my one would have been Killer Frag's Aventus video. I think that one I sent to you, and
Mm-hmm.
then if you managed to watch it, it was brilliant. Yeah, drop me a comment of if there's any decent reviews that you've watched this week for fragrances.
Dan sends his apologies.
Yes, all right. No probs. Planes, trains, and Batmobiles.
Can I just see? Could I explain the premise of a Prison Break for a total newbie? Well, you get a prison, and you try and break out of it, and that's the premise for season 1. The rest of it is not quite so much Prison Breaky, but they lasted a while doing it, so good on them, I guess.
So some awesome news has come out this week.
Rubbing my hands news.
Mr. Hughes, you know what's coming. SNYDER
Let's get on this hype train. Yes. SNYDER Cut has been confirmed for 2021 HBO Max.
And maybe the air cut will come as well for Suicide Squad.
Hey, Jim, you all right?
All right, Jim.
Yeah, so I suppose going into this a little bit further, so Zack Snyder held a live stream Q&A watch of Man of Steel. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was basically just explaining, just kind of like doing a live viewing with director commentary, really. And then he held a Q&A with a lot of fans. And Superman himself, Henry Cavill, sat there looking like an absolute don. He just sat there, just all massive, like. And and the guy's huge. But yeah, doing a Q&A, and then right at the end of the Q&A, I think someone said, if there's anyone asked a question about, is there anything anyone can get excited about or something like that? And he just he shrugged it off as if it was nothing. He was like, oh, well, there is this. And he flipped the camera around to show the poster of the Justice League team with saying that Zack Snyder's Justice League has been confirmed for 2021. So anyone knows of Justice League, it came out and it was butchered because there was a load of reshoots, because Zack Snyder had to leave, unfortunately, due to a death in the family. And then Joss Whedon came in and finished it into his way of doing it, where it's arguable whether it's his way of doing it or the studio's way of doing it. But I suppose regardless of that fact, it's what we got. And not a lot of people were happy about it, especially if you saw the state of Superman's face because of the reshoots. It's understandable why people weren't happy about it, because it did look a mess.
So we're supposed to be a 4-hour cut that's split into, I think, 6 35-minute episodes, I believe. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Mad Scent, hi mate.
So Andy has said Justice League gave him a migraine. So I can confirm this is true. Well, I can't confirm that this is true. We went to the cinema to watch it and he had to leave halfway through because he had a migraine. I don't think it was the film that gave him the migraine. I think he had a migraine, but
He didn't drink enough water, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Did really enjoy the parts that he's.
But yes, I think we can all agree that Justice League probably wasn't the best. And it's not what we originally thought it was going to be. So I, for one, am very, very, very happy about this news because the Snyder Cut has been something that's been rumoured ever since release. A lot of people saying it doesn't exist. A lot of people saying it does exist. And Jason Momoa being one of those that basically came out and said, yeah, I've watched it. It definitely exists. So, a lot of people debating whether or not it's an actual thing. But now we've got confirmation and they're getting, 20, 30 million additional to finish it off. So that's visual effects, that's additional dialogue, a lot of different things in there, which promise to be something unexpected. And I think Zach's kind of come out and said that what we got was like a quarter of what we should have seen, and the whole thing's going to be completely different. I think he's going to say that regardless. But I'm really hoping that he's right, because there was a lot of stuff that we know that was cut out of that movie, just because of what we looked into, and a lot of the deleted scenes after the movie came out were released and stuff like that. So,
hello, Dan's mum. Can screenshot that for her, Dan. And what fragrances have you got on your to buy list, or that you'd like to buy?
Mate, one of them you had in your hand. It was the Chanel Allure Eau Extreme. I want to get both Homme Sport and Eau Extreme. They're definitely on my radar. Yeah. I think I didn't appreciate them enough when I did the battle for them, because I think they grow on you. I think all fragrances do, to be fair. Like you kind of appreciate them a hell of a lot more the more you use them, and in different kind of, I suppose the setting's quite important for it. Like if you put something that was really sweet and really cloying on in really high heat, you're not going to like it because it's going to be too overpowering. At the same time, if you put like something really fresh on in the middle of winter, you're not really going to get much of it. So I think it all really depends on the setting and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I underappreciated the beauty of them, should we say? But yeah, they're definitely on my list to get. Yeah. What about you?
Hello. Thanks for joining. For me, I've got a few that I want, but not necessarily that I'll be able to afford to buy. The top one would be that Nishane Annie, yeah, that Beast. Too expensive. So I've got samples.
What is it, like £3 million or something like that?
Yeah, close to that. It's just too much money for me to splash out. Even as good as it is, it's not something to spend that much money on. I think it's about £230. So I think I would love to have it, but I'd probably have to look for an alternative if there is one.
Yeah.
And the other one I'd like to have is not necessarily Tuscan leather, but I'd like to have something that has that DNA.
You've been loving that recently, haven't you?
Yeah, I just love that dry down of the raspberry. I think the Rasassi Loyuka one that I got and reviewed, which is sort of a clone of Tuscan leather, I preferred that to Tuscan leather, and that lasted for days. I had it on my wrist and it just wouldn't come off at all for a few days. So I think that, and I'm intrigued by Aaron Terence Hughes' new one that's coming out, Neon.
Neon, yeah, that's so I've got a few of I say a few. I've got 3 Aaron Terence Hughes, and the latest one that I got was oh my god, what was it called? It's really coconutty. It's really limey. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but that was really nice. So I think he's moving more into the commercial side a lot now. So I think he's kind of like opening it up to mass market, more mass appealing ones, which he's going to get him bags of orders, I'm sure. But yeah, I think that when he explained that one, definitely.
Good shout out, Dan.
Wine glass.
It
It's a frosted.
It does look big on the screen.
It's only because I'm drinking it like here. Like it's normal size wine glass. It actually looks pretty small back here.
Yeah, I think it's because it's close up. I think the new one that he's got is that Neon. I think he mentioned it's a very commercial Aventis Sauvage type of fragrance.
Which is interesting because I think I remember him saying way back when that he hated all of that kind of stuff, which is an interesting take for him. I'm not saying it's the right or the wrong thing. He can choose to run his business however he wants to, and he's obviously really successful in doing it. But I remember seeing a review of Mont Blanc Explorer. I don't know if you can remember it, that he did, and he went I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved the review. It was hilarious, but he went absolutely ape at smelling it because he said it was just Aventus. It's just everything that's out on the market at the minute. So it's interesting that he's doing more Sauvage Aventus style things, considering he was so against doing it or against them being on the market in the past.
I think it was more that he's doing the commercial side because a lot of his audience now are that commercial.
Yeah, he's got a bigger audience, hasn't he?
His audience has expanded, so I think he's trying to get a bit of both sides. So not too arty, but then have a bit of the commercial side as well.
Yeah. One other one, I think, if we're talking about more expensive fragrances, and this is purely kind of like brought on from the first time I smelled it, and Mont Blanc Individuel is I'd love to get my hands on a bottle of Creed Original Santal. Because I just love that. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Like I know that Individual is a much more affordable option, and one could argue that was the original. But the Original Santal's got obviously a lot higher quality ingredients in it, and it doesn't have the raspberry note in it either, so it's slightly different. But it's just really, really creamy, and I love it. It is obviously it's Creed prices though, isn't it? So it's not something you can just go out on a whim unless you've got a couple of £100 in your back pocket to burn. But yeah, it's definitely one that I want.
Do you think Individual has that Youp sort of dupe or whatever it is?
I don't get that. I don't get that. Like I can understand why, because the opening is quite synthetic, and you get the raspberry note, and it is quite a synthetic-y kind of opening. But I don't get dupe on from it. Like I don't get me wrong, I've not smelt that in a very long time. I'm talking like teens, early teens as well. I'm
sure Ravster's rocked it a day or two.
Yeah, Rav's probably got his collar up, just like. But yeah, I don't get that vibe from it. Like I think that dupe was a beast and a monster in its own right in its day. And it's not to say that it's not a bad smell. I just think it's overly sweet and overly synthetic for today's kind of taste, maybe. And some people, I know that John Snow, he absolutely loves that kind of stuff, doesn't he? So, but yeah, so I don't get that vibe from it. I get more of the, like I said, the raspberry opening, but I get more of the creaminess kind of from the dry down. Not so much as Creed, but again, you're using more expensive stuff in that, so you're going to get a better performance from it. But yeah, that's definitely one I want to kind save up the pennies for, because it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely.
HKB, you right?
How's it going?
X Fragdicted Snaps. What camera are you currently using for your photography? So are you using a different camera to what Tony uses for his videos? I'm glad to see that the food's turned up as well.
He's going to start eating his own arm if it wasn't.
Yeah.
The other bit of movie news, I suppose we can quickly go over, is that you kind of touched on David Ayer's Suicide Squad as well.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, I'm pretty sure you will do if you've seen Suicide Squad. It wasn't the best movie in the world. It wasn't the most well-received movie in the world. In fact, it looked like a visual mess, and it felt disjointed. It wasn't what David Ayer had wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of reasons for that. I found out just this morning, actually, we were talking about earlier on, that the editing of the entire movie wasn't run past David Ayer, the director. It was just shipped out to a separate third party who specialized in editing movie trailers. And I believe they did the movie trailers for Suicide Squad, which, if you have seen the trailers for Suicide Squad, are great. Like, they're better than the movie itself. They're both very different, but they are both really, really good trailers.
Yes.
But there's a difference in editing a trailer and editing a full movie. And what we got was trailer editors editing a full movie that looked like a music video at times.
Like an MTV Suicide Squad, wasn't it?
It just didn't work. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because within talks with the visual effects studio that are doing the additional visual effects for Justice League, they've also, I'll say in quotations, confirmed that they are doing touch-ups and visual effects for a different version of Suicide Squad as well, which means that we're potentially going to get a different version of Suicide Squad, one that we might be more in line with the vision of what the original trailers had, a David Ayer's vision, more Joker, which is obviously what we're all here for. Of course, it's what we're here for. I know that most people will disagree with me on that, but I think that Jared Leto needs more time in that role, and I think people will love it. But yeah, so it means that we'll get more of that, which I hope is something that does happen, because I think I was really, really hyped for Suicide Squad. When I first heard it and when I first saw the trailers, I thought this is going to be awesome, especially because it was marketed as heavily Joker Harley, but was cut a lot of that. So I was really disappointed when we got it. To see what we actually got. Yeah.
With that, I don't know, I've got just in terms of the camera here, just with this comment, I've got a Lumix Panasonic G7, and I've always been and ahhing whether to move over to a Canon, just because I think the lenses are better on a Canon, just from a focus point of view. My camera is good for the quality, but I think on the video it's not as good as a Canon.
I've just realised who HKB is. It's Hamish.
Hamish.
It's Hamish. Yeah. I've just realised who it is.
Do you guys have any experience in making movies?
I wish I did, mate. I wish I did.
I can remember me and Neil doing some just pretend fight scene movies. So I think we're big fans of movies. We've got a few friends that work in movies, and so we know a bit about how the film industry works on sort of your low budget films and the sort of what goes into it. I know a bit of stuff behind the scenes, but we don't do movie making. We're just big fans of movies.
Yeah, I think me and my friends when we were at school dabbled in a few kind of like homemade kind of more for kind of like school projects or college projects and stuff like that. Because I did a media class and film studies and stuff like that, where they'd give you a camera and you can go out and just do what you want, make a music video or something along those lines. So that kind of really kind of pushed me into that way of looking at films. But yeah, we're not in any way involved in the making of movies, unfortunately. I'd love to be behind the scenes of a movie. You got to have all kinds of degrees for that kind of stuff these days, though. So yeah, I won't be doing that anytime soon.
Hamish, I think it's just a little grunt or a crocodile noise.
Yeah, Dan can do one of those quite well, actually. Might have to get him to do it next week.
I think Dan and Andy, because I'm sure it was one of Andy's favourite lines.
Absolutely. And you've got Jared Leto, best Joker since Ledger.
Damn right.
Well, look, I'm going to say it now on live stream to the world. I'll probably get crucified for this here, as I do everywhere else. I don't think that Heath Ledger is all that as the Joker, unfortunately. I know it sounds like a horrible thing to say, but I think it only got hyped because of the circumstances around what happened to Heath Ledger, which is unfortunate and it's horrible. I'm not saying that it's not a good Joker. It's just not as good as what everyone portrays him to be. I do love the Dark Knight trilogy. Don't get me wrong. I really love the Dark Knight trilogy. And he does a very good version of that kind of Joker. But I think Nicholson's better than him. I wouldn't say Leto is better than him, because we've only got 10 minutes of Leto and you can't really kind of say that he's good or bad because we didn't get enough time with him. But I think that he could do very well because of the caliber of actor that Jared Leto is. But yeah, Nicholson's hands down better than him, in my opinion. But at the same time, they're two very, very different Jokers doing very, very different things. And I suppose they're interpreting very different eras of DC when they're portraying those characters. So, but yeah.
J1, yeah, I've never looked into the Nikon. I know they're decent, but yeah, I've never really looked into any reviews of any Nikon cameras, so might have to have a look. Yeah, me and Neil did a few dodgy trailers. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, let's see if we can get those uploaded onto the channel.
Hey, you're right, Barry. Good to have you in, mate.
Oh, Barry, thanks very much for the film recommendation, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it. I think you did. We did the review on Wednesday of it. We did the live review of it, which was fun. But yeah, thanks very much for that suggestion, mate, because I got treated to some level of acting that you don't get these days. So yeah, thanks very much for that. That was wicked. Why not make your own short film just for kicks?
No, I've always wanted to not do a short film, but I don't know, just do something with some of the kicks with the camera that I've got. But I think it's just time, and I think my wife doesn't want to stand in the garden with a camera filming me do some stuff. And plus,
mate, I'd love to make something. I'd love to make something, but like you said, it's time, it's resource, it's difficult. I mean, I know people that do make shorts, just like, it's like 5-10 minute shorts, and the amount of effort it takes to put into not just filming it, if you're serious about doing it as well, is like getting people that are kind of like actors to go in and do stuff as well. And then the editing, if you want it looking professional and nice, and it's anyone that does the fragrance reviews alone will know that when you want to go in there and start doing some heavy editing, how time consuming it can be. I mean, at times I've been in there and edited a video, even just for a movie review, that's literally just me standing in front of a camera talking for 10 minutes. I've been there editing for 2-3 hours easily, just cutting and chopping and moving things around and putting some music in there. It takes time.
Yeah. And
I don't think that either of us are in the position right now to even attempt it. It'd be lovely, don't get me wrong, and I'd love to have that as a hobby to do. And maybe
think-
one day we might, but I don't think right now.
I think both me and Ant have got children that are quite young, so I think once they probably a bit older
Yeah.
and need as much.
Yeah, we can get them to hold the camera.
Yeah, and to be the camera people. So, but yeah, it's something that I've always been interested in terms of wanting to do a short film or really into the filmmaking. And like I said earlier, me and my mates when we were younger, we used to always do crazy like videos of fight films and try and do a horror film and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we used to do that at school all the time. Mate. Me and my friends used to just make, just like I can remember this one. We made like a little gang war kind of thing. It was only like it was very shoddily done on a webcam type camera and stuff like that. And it's fun to do. It's and I would love to take that on a more of a serious kind of route. But yeah, like you said, children at the ages that we've got are very, as anyone knows, with children under the ages of 6, very time consuming. But like I said, once they're a bit older, who knows? Who knows?
Hi Scott, thanks for coming, mate. So many good people. Yeah, definitely agree. Barry, definitely. Yes, I think me and Dan did a video together, and there must have been 10 minutes of that video of me and him laughing uncontrollably. I think I left a tiny bit of it in, but yeah, it was just it was good.
Yeah, but I suppose that goes to show how heavy editing can be, how time consuming heavy editing can be. But it's it's rewarding at the end of the day. I love being able to finish exporting a video and saying that's done, because as anyone knows that does the reviews and puts videos out there, it is a rewarding feeling knowing that you've put some time and effort in, and you've got a finished product at the end of it. Disregard offspring, acquire movie fame, mate. If I had no heart, no, but like in all seriousness, that's kind of like a dream job for me, like to be behind a movie set, and working on movies or TV and stuff like that. That would be my very, very dream job, other than just being like an international playboy or something like that. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, he does. I love how George's mind works. And I think for me, I don't know why he's not as big as he is within the fragrance community. He's been doing it for such a long time. I think he was one of the first people that I followed, and at the time, he still stood out then with his style of filming, and I really like that he's not traditional. He'll just do his own thing and he don't care.
One of the things I love about him is his comedic value. Like he's really, really funny. Like all the videos that you watch of him, like that it's very rare that you'll find a video that he puts out where it doesn't raise a smile or actually makes you laugh out loud. I think some of these videos are great. And he did a video recently of I think it was like clones different houses doing interpretations of originals. Yeah. So it was doing like Mont Blanc against Aventus, Individual against Original Santan, things like that. But the way that it was done and the style of it was kind of like a drama, and it's kind of got a story to it. So you can tell he really kind of puts a lot of time and thought into his videos, and it really pays off, because I was in stitches the entire time. I thought it was great, and I suppose that's the same for the majority of his work.
Yeah, and I think Barry, you mentioned Killer. Yeah, we talked about Killer Frank's videos earlier, and I think again, just the creativity on that, and got to appreciate the editing and everything that's gone into it. I think they really stand out, and I think that's what's good about doing these YouTube videos. whether it's for fragrances or for movies. I think when you get to that editing stage, your creativity goes a bit wild and you can start adding a little bits here and there. But I really like what Killer Frags and George are doing at the minute, really standing out. Crom, horror, yeah, mate, talk about whatever horror you want to talk about. Definitely not too late. We can talk about any horror stuff you want to.
Speaking of horror, so last week I don't. Did we talk about last week? I mentioned that Michael Myers' mask scares the living bejesus out of me. Yeah, we did. Okay. Since then, I've had 2 nightmares about that man, and I blame it on this live stream. We were talking about him so much; it's ingrained into my head.
I thought you said Batman then.
No, Michael.
That's like,
yeah.
In terms of horror, still am a massive fan of Freddy, and I used to collect it was like memorabilia. So I used to have all the different Freddy gloves. There's a guy called Dark Ride who creates screen accurate Freddy masks, and I used to have a few of them. So yeah, and then I got married and they had to go because my wife didn't like it.
I can imagine Charlie not being too pleased with that.
Yeah, she wanted all the Freddy gloves and Freddy masks out of the room.
Yes, Crom, the Inside Out Captain Kirk mask. Yeah, whilst it sounds quite innocent that way, the way it's used in the movies has haunted my nightmares and haunted my dreams ever since I first watched it when I was far too young to be watching it, and I've never been able to get it out of my mind quite clearly because last week I've had 2 nightmares about it. So winning for them.
Yeah. To be fair, I think
Nick, you're all over that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The veins. That is one of my favorite. Nightmare Part 3 was one of my favorite ones that I put for our horror week last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been a favorite of mine. I love Part 3 in the mental hospital. Got Nancy coming back. Absolutely love it. But just going back to what you mentioned, yeah, Barry and all the other guys. To be fair, I think quite a lot of us put all great effort into our videos, and I feel anyway that there's a sort of a nice little UK community going on with quite a lot of us.
Big up the UK.
Yeah, and I think it's really good, and I think we're putting out some good content at the minute. So yeah, I think everyone's putting in the hard work at the minute, which is good to see.
But hang on a second. Oh no, yeah. Where is it gone? You're the only one that hates horror. I prefer Disney Pixar. I could sit here and talk about Disney until there's no breath left in my lungs. I absolutely love Disney. Absolutely love Disney. So if you want to talk Disney, lay it on me. Lay it on me. What's your favorite Disney Pixar? Go. Can you recommend a good romantic comedy?
Yes.
I can recommend a few good romantic comedies.
Is it romantic? Just Friends. Would you say that's romantic?
Just Friends. The one with
Ryan Reynolds. And
Ryan Reynolds and oh my god, what's the name?
From Scary Movie.
God. Yes, yeah. I think you could call that a rom-com.
Yeah, it is, because he's after the girl who shamed him when he was fat when he was younger.
Yeah.
Back and he's all fit and sexy. Yeah, I love Just Friends.
Oh gosh, it's just jumped out of my head. Friends with Benefits, great rom-com.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Justin Timberlake, Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
I think I think Justin Timberlake in that one is hilarious. Mila Kunis is hilarious anyway. But yeah, it's a really, really good rom-com. If you like it, it's quite rude, quite crude at times, but yeah, it's really good, really good.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. I'm sure there's. All I thought straight away was Just Friends.
40-Year-Old Virgin. If anyone, 40-Year-Old Virgin is predominantly a comedy, right? It's predominantly a quite dark comedy at times, but it is a romantic comedy at the end of the day. 40-Year-Old Virgin is one of the funniest movies I think I've ever seen. And if you haven't seen it, I would urge you with every fiber of my being to watch it because it's absolutely hilarious.
Is this one a rom-com? I'm only thinking of it because of Gibson. What Women Want.
Yeah, really definite rom-com. Definite rom-com. Yeah, where he hears women's thoughts.
Yeah. I like that film. It's a good film. Love horror movies. Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of good rom-coms out currently, is there? I've not seen one for a long time, to be fair.
No, in times you've got to be in the mood for a good rom-com, I think.
What's Hamish saying?
He wants me to show him the world shining, shimmering splendor. It's Aladdin. He's singing A Whole New World. He's serenading us essentially, which
nice.
is an interesting thing at 10:30 at night on a Friday evening. I'm
surprised
I appreciate it. Monsters Inc. Absolutely love it. I prefer Monsters University, but yeah, Monsters Inc. I absolutely love. I think that I saw something quite a while ago about Monsters Inc. that when it came out, it was quite a revolutionary kind of animation because of Sully and the way all of each individual hair on his body had its own animation. So it flowed like hair would, or how they thought hair would. When you watch it now, it looks quite dated, but it took a hell of a lot longer to animate and create that movie because of the level of attention they put into Sully and his hair moving. But when you look at it back now, you kind of go, okay, yeah, but I can't do it, so I can't really say anything.
One that I watched was Coco.
Coco's great. Coco's really, really good.
Good. The visuals on that just really pop. I can remember watching it when I was on holiday. I had it on my iPad, and I was just sat there like, this is actually really good.
Coco's wicked, and the music in it is fantastic as well.
Someone posted something that I just saw. 1 second. Tony, is Just Go With It, Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, I love that film.
There's really
a bit
funny.
At the start of it where there's a guy talking to Adam Sandler and he's dribbling with a drink, and I must have rewinded it about 10 times because it just made me piss. I think he's at a party and the guy's talking to him and his face is all Botoxed, I think, and he's just dribbling all over.
There's the character in Just Go With It that I find hilarious is his friend who pretends to be, I think, a German guy. He is the funniest. He is hilarious in that movie. Yeah, I absolutely love that movie.
What you've just reminded me of talking about Adam Sandler. What's the film he did with where he's the fireman? I absolutely love that film. There's him and Paul Blortmart, whatever he is. They're firemen, and they pretend they're gay. They have to pretend they're gay.
Is it, and I pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Oh yeah, I love that film. Brilliant film.
Yeah, I've not actually seen that movie. There's a lot of Adam Sandler I haven't watched. Forgetting Sarah Marshall is brilliant as well.
Classic film.
Oh, hang on, Barry. You're throwing them out. Coyote Ugly is a wicked movie.
You know what? In Derby, there was a really
Coyote Wild, mate.
Wild bar in Derby, and it was a bit rough.
It was. I can remember going in there. The first time I went in there, I was underage, but yeah, it was an eye opener going in there, mate. It was an absolute eye opener because I'm not from Derby, so I went there. It was me and my older cousin and a few of his mates, and yeah, went in there and I was just like, oh my god, yeah, it's nothing like the movie. That way, nothing like the movie.
Yes, my two girls love Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella. So they've got a box that's in this room here that is full of dress up clothes from Frozen to Bella. And I think they get changed about 4 or 5 times a day. So yeah, they absolutely love that. And I get forced to watch it as well.
My favorite remake Disney classic is Jungle Book. Jungle Book was really, really good. And I know that and the Netflix version of that came out pretty much at the same time, didn't they? So there was the Jungle Book, and I think there was Mowgli that came out. But yeah, I really, really enjoy Jungle Book. Not so much The Lion King. I love the original Lion King. Like I said, I love Disney, like pretty much all Disney classics. I've got a special place for Disney. But The Lion King, the problem with The Lion King was because it was so photorealistic, because it looked so real, it was hard to convey any sort of emotion. And I don't know if that's just because the voice acting was either really flat or just they didn't want to put any kind of animation into a lion's face or something like that. But it just felt a little bit disjointed. But Jungle Book was 10 out of 10. Easy.
Barry, he's bringing a bit of Swayze into the house.
Swayze. Ghost is great. I love Ghost.
Swayze was the Don back in the day. I think he was the sort of Brad Pitt, wasn't he? If that sort of era. Roadhouse. Oh yeah, brilliant. Point Break. I love Point Break. He's awesome in that film. And
have you watched the remake of Point Break?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I just stay clear of it.
But yeah, love Swayze.
I was actually talking about Patrick Swayze today, and I can't remember what I was talking about. But yeah, he came up in conversation today, and Ghost also came up in a conversation I was having with someone today, which is quite weird.
Made Ghost yet? Ghost is surprised they haven't remade Ghost yet. So
you can leave Ghost alone. You can get that idea out your mind right away.
I'm surprised they haven't with all the remakes that they do. I'm surprised they haven't gone Ghost route. But I think Ghost is a brilliant film, and I think if they did remake it now, I think they would make it a lot softer because it's quite a dark film. Ghost.
Yeah, the demons coming to the shadow people coming to get you. It was horrifying. Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2, love them. Absolutely love them. Again, this is Adam Sandler. Like, I think the thing with Adam Sandler is he's either really, for me anyway, he's either massively hit or miss. Like, I either love it, like, and there's a lot of stuff that I love with Adam Sandler, but there are a few absolute stinkers in there. But yeah, like Happy Gilmore was hilarious. Big Daddy, Mr. Deeds, even Longest Yard. There's so many good Adam Sandler movies in my opinion, but again, there are a lot of stinkers out there.
Uncut Gems. Recently.
Uncut Gems, mate. I was talking to someone about this the other day. Uncut Gems. If you haven't seen Uncut Gems, I implore you to go watch it. It's not going to be a comedy. It's not a funny movie. It is not an action movie. But what it is the most intense, anxiety-inducing movie I think I've watched ever. Like, I was sat there and I was just like in my chair, like the entire time, but nothing much is really happening. But I think it's the way that film is intentionally created, intentionally shot, and the music that's playing is intentionally loud to kind of like create an anxious surrounding. And I don't think that there's very few times in that movie that there are less than two people talking. There's a lot of over talking intentionally to kind of get you, because as when you're in a big crowd and you're trying to focus on something, it induces anxiety. And I think that movie is a perfect example of how to be able to do that with your audience. I thought it was great.
It was quality. Hamish, I've watched, what is it? The Altered Carbon animation. And there's also one, I think it's like a boxing one where they've got metal arms. I've watched that one, but yeah, I think I need to watch a few more. But I did love, I don't know if anyone else watched it, Love, Death and Robots. That was released last year.
I never got round to watching that.
I loved that, where it was going through all the different types of animations from different people from around the globe. And they got to tell a 5 or 10 minute story. Lucas Poe, good to see you, mate.
No, mate. Centurion, Love Actually.
Yeah, classic.
Can't beat Love Actually. That is, I mean, the problem is with Love Actually, because it's so synonymous with Christmas, you only find it around that time of the year. I could watch that movie all year round, if I'm being honest. I think it's great, and I think the cast in it is wonderful. Like the Alan Rickman, Rowan Atkinson department store bit in that movie is just hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. And I think that's just testament to Rowan Atkinson's comedy ability. But it's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, that's a banger of a movie.
What else we got? Hitch, When in Rome from Heather.
Absolutely. Hitch is great.
Love Hitch.
Barry always wanted to go to a Coyote Ugly bar. Not the one in Derby, mate, you do.
Not Barry. There's a nice buffalo ride that you could have gone on in the car.
It was an interesting place, Barry. It was interesting. It was nothing like the movie. Don't get me wrong. There weren't incredibly gorgeous women on the bar dancing for you and stuff. It wasn't anything like that.
You think of this, them buffalo rides that you have to sit on and try and not fall off. So just think of drunken girls going on it, absolutely hammered, and they just look an absolute mess. So yeah, it was a bit of not a great bar.
Oh my God, all these comments. I've missed out on quite a lot of these comments. Hang on a second. Oh my God, there's so many. Here we go.
There's a lot of ugly coyotes at the bar in town. What was you clicking on?
Apparently, it's looking at a live action Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean that is a dark kind of concept for a film. It's pretty grim, actually.
Yeah, it'd be hard for them to
get away with it.
Yeah, kid to get in the cinema.
Absolutely.
Scarlett Johansson, still sexy snake.
Can't argue.
The Sweetest Thing, Cameron Diaz. She's been gone for quite a while now, hasn't she? She's had a baby. She hasn't made any.
She?
Yeah, with Good Charlotte, with one of the guys from Good Charlotte, I think.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I've not seen her in any films for a long time.
Yeah, I've not seen her in anything for a while. I think the last thing I saw her in was Bad Teacher with Justin Timberlake. Yeah. It wasn't a great movie.
I think I preferred the bloopers to that film than the actual film.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy the movie, if I'm being honest.
What was he supposed to be? Bill Murray's part?
That would have been awesome.
I'm guessing anyway. But I do like Zombieland.
Oh, cool. Yes, Tony. I can get on board with that. Big. The only one thing is, it's a great movie. It's an absolute great movie, and Tom Hanks is marvelous in that movie. But the one thing about that movie that scares me is the machine. It's scary. It's a scary face. But yeah, great movie.
Flat, he's just buying everything. Arcade machines and trampolines. Do you know what film I've just into my head. Old school film. I don't know if anyone will remember it. Inner Space.
That's showing your age there, Nick. No.
Oh, it what's his name? Quaid in it. Is it Dennis
Oh
Quaid?
yeah.
It's where he's in like a machine and he gets put into someone's body and he's like going around their body and he can mess around with his eyes and his mouth and stuff like that. Brilliant film. Old school film, that is.
Let's see what else we got here. Can't wait for the Transformers remakes. I'll leave you to that one then, Luke. I think they should have left them alone after. They probably should have left it alone after number 1, maybe arguably number 2.
It was good though. I was surprised at that. The Bumblebee film.
I never actually watched it.
Yes, watch that one. I think that was a step.
I've heard
up
good things. I heard good things about it, but I kind of got put off by Wahlberg's interjection into the franchise.
Pecs and his burgers.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mark Wahlberg. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think those movies were needed at all, and they were far too long.
Brothers, Wahlberg. Oh, I love that film.
Four Brothers is such a good movie. It's such a good movie. If anyone hasn't seen Four Brothers, again, there's another one I urge you to go watch. It's a hyper-violent movie, but
yeah,
go with it.
Yeah, we were talking about John Candy earlier, Nige. We love a bit of John Candy. Uncle Buck.
Oh my god, keeps doing this.
Scott, are you on about Cable Guy, or is this Cable Man a different film?
Yeah, no, he says Cable Guy beneath.
Oh, right,
yeah.
Okay. Cable Guy.
Yeah, Cable Guy.
You know what? When Cable Guy first came out, I wasn't too keen on it because it was very different.
I've only seen it once.
Yeah, it's but I prefer it more now than I did when it first came out. I've never seen 5-Year Engagement.
No, nor have I.
Chris Pratt.
Oh, Barry. Spartacus.
Is that with Douglas?
All like 10 hours of it. I did, however, the thing is, Spartacus, I watched the TV remake. I must say remake, the TV version of it. It initially started, and this was a long time ago, so this is how long ago it was. It started on, remember the channel Bravo?
That was a quality channel, Bravo.
Yeah, it started on Bravo, and then it got moved after the first season onto Sky One. But it's like a four-season series about Spartacus, and they end up having to change the actor of Spartacus because after the first season, the actor that played Spartacus
passed away.
He died from I think he had cancer. So yeah, they had to recast him. I can't remember his name. I think it was Andy Whitfield or something along those lines, and they had to recast it. So it went on, the hiatus between series went on a bit longer, and I think the second series, rather than following on from the first, they ended up having to do a prequel into a different character because they needed to recast and they didn't have enough time with the schedule that they had. So they made a shorter, I think it was like 6-episode series in season 2 that was on a different character. But that's an interesting, another hyper-violent TV show. It's worth watching if that's your kind of thing.
Super with Joe Pesci.
I've seen a lot of things with Joe Pesci, but I've not seen that.
Not seen that one. Any good? Let us know.
Let us know.
Tom Hanks. The Money Pit.
Dan, again, no idea, mate.
The Burbs, yeah. That was a good film.
There you go, Nick.
Inner Space, yes. Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. Love that one.
Truman Show. This is the first time I watched a Jim Carrey movie that wasn't specifically a comedy. I mean, it's got some funny moments in it, but it's not a comedy, is it? And actually, I watched The Truman Show way back when I was in school, and we did it. I think we watched it in an English class. You know how some people like watch Titanic or something like that. We watched The Truman Show, and that was the first time I watched that movie, and it completely changed my opinion of Jim Carrey, because I just thought he could only do comedies, obviously because he's a bit of a wacky character. But yeah, I really, really enjoy Truman Show.
Sure.
What's everyone's favorite Jim Carrey movie, by the way? Because I know there's quite a lot of good ones out there.
You know what I really love with Jim? Me, Myself, and Irene. Love that.
The Cottonmouth scene.
I love that. Rat Race.
So Nick, what have you got planned for your things to watch this week? Have you got anything new that you're planning on watching? Or
I think there's a film that was recommended to me. It's a Ewan McGregor film. It's called Son of a Gun. I think Jesse, who directs Scott's films, he recommended it as a good sort of actiony type of film. So I'm going to check that film out, see if it's any good. I think that was Mr. Gibson. And I actually love Signs.
Yeah.
Signs is a brilliant film.
I went to the cinema, I think 3 times to see Signs. I absolutely loved it, and Mel Gibson is really good in it, and Joaquin Phoenix is great in Signs.
Yeah. I think you know the bit where it's he first sees the alien on the roof or whatever. I think it shit me up.
Yeah, it messes you up, doesn't it? Yeah, it messes you up because like it's not a scare. I don't know if you can class that movie as a scary movie. It's got some horror elements to it, of course. But yeah, the first time you see that alien behind the chimney breast, and then it goes back, or the first time you see the alien on the recorded video when Joaquin's watching it, and he's like, "Move, children, vámonos," and then you see that alien. It just like I think it's just because of the tension and stuff like that. It does. You kind of go there, and you just go, "Oh,
yeah."
It's a really good, like, immersive movie.
Quality film that I love with Mel Gibson, and I don't think it gets talked about quite a lot, is the Man Without a Face. Brilliant film.
I'm not seeing it.
He's he has like a car. He's a teacher, and he has a car accident with one of his pupils, and there's like a rumor going around that he was doing something in the car, and he's like hidden away somewhere, and he's got like a half a burned face, and then I think he starts tutoring one of these kids, and the town are like, "No, don't go there," and it's a bit of a really good story to it, and Gibson's absolutely brilliant in the film. I love loads of Gibson's films.
Spartacus series was a sex violence. What more could you want? Yeah, that was in abundance, Barry. Like in abundance in that TV series. Nigel, the Liar. Great movie. Again, that's Jim Carrey as you would expect Jim Carrey. Very wacky, very out of control, very slapstick in your face comedy. That's exactly what you expect from Jim Carrey, and he's done so well in a lot of his movies to kind of keep that element of comedy throughout it all, yet be different characters in a different setting and not make you think of something else when he's doing it. If that makes sense.
The bloopers in that is well funny as well. How You Made? Yes.
Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely great.
Eternal Sunshine is a brilliant film with is that Kate Winslet? Have you watched that one? And
no,
really good film.
One it just popped into my head. One thing that we're talking about, comedy actors not doing comedy. it's not that long ago, and I watched it ages ago for the first time. But I noticed it. It was Robin Williams, and it was a movie called 1 Hour Photo. Have you seen it?
Yeah, where he's like
he's so if anyone hasn't seen it, Robin Williams plays kind of like a guy at a store who develops pictures. You know, when you take a film in and go get the pictures developed and then pick them up later, back in the Stone Ages. He basically gets obsessed with this family, and he plays a really, really dark role, considering what you are accustomed to with Robin Williams. And you know, he's always really funny, really wacky, and he plays this really dark character, this obsessive character who goes on this like really violent path. And it's I was watching, I was expecting him to come out with a joke, but there's no joke. That is not a movie to joke around about. It is a very dark movie. It's good, don't get me wrong, it's really good, but it's not what you're expecting from Robin Williams at all.
He did another one. I don't know if it was before or after that one. It was Insomnia with Al Pacino, and it was directed by Christopher Nolan. Brilliant film.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it. I've not actually seen it.
Yeah, Robin Williams is like a sort of bad guy, and he's dead serious in that film as well. Mr. Hughes, yeah, we'll ignore it.
Mama. Yeah.
Oh, you know, that was the scene. That was the scene I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm. What with the bloopers?
Yeah.
The alien at the birthday party, hilarious. No, Andy, the alien at the birthday party, terrifying.
The Mask, absolutely love The Mask. And the mask has got like, I think when I was younger, I watched it, and then as you get older, you understand all the subliminal filth that.
Yeah, that movie is absolutely filthy. It is, and it was a PG. Can we just stop and appreciate the fact that that movie was a PG?
I think in the park, he's just talking about just absolute filth.
Yeah. What is it? I want to spread your. I want to reveal my croissant. I want to spread your pate. Yeah, it's filthy.
But it's brilliant.
Okay, so I've just seen one that is potentially going to be another topic here.
Oh yes,
We could talk about mob films for quite a long time. So Goodfellas is my. I think it is. I think Goodfellas is my top tier number one mob movie. I think it is for a lot of people, to be fair, and for good reason. But there are a lot of great mob movies out there. I still haven't seen Casino. I've been told 1,000,001 times to watch Casino.
It's awesome.
And I've heard that there is a very, very brutal kind of torture scene in Casino.
There's a brutal scenes in Casino.
But yeah, it is one that I want to watch because I do love mob movies, and I love that kind of genre, especially with the people that are in these movies, the actors that are in these movies. You can't really get enough of them, so it might be one that I watched this week actually.
Bronx Tale, I think, was good because I think that took De Niro in a different direction. If I can remember, he's a bus driver. He's the dad, witnessing his son being a part of the mob. So it was a different sort of part for Robert De Niro, where it was someone else who was the mafia and doing all the other things. But yeah, I thought that was a great film, if that's the film that I'm thinking of with Bronx Tale.
Just seen. The thing about The Mask is it's based on a horror comic. The Mask is not a redeemable character. He's actually a bad guy. Well, he is a bad guy. He doesn't do any good. He does no good other than at the end, of course, where he saves the casino or the nightclub from being destroyed. He is a bad guy. He goes around and sticks those car exhausts up those two guys, and You know, he causes trouble wherever he goes. He is the embodiment of Loki, isn't he? Which is the god of mischief. So yeah, I get that, and I can understand that. I think that they've obviously just twisted it for comedic value, but yeah, he's not a good guy at all.
Hello, Pato bodybuilder.
How's it going?
Looking good.
Can anyone tell me some good horror movies in the same vein as The Witch, Midsummer, Apostle, Hereditary? Okay, so let me talk about a couple of these. The Witch, I hated, and I know Alex Hudson will probably have something to say about this. I absolutely hated that movie. It is a very strange movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's set in a long time ago, and the accents that are used, and I think it's probably accurate in terms of the accents that are used, but they're very weird because it's kind of like half British, half not. Almost kind of like Shakespearean type accents and dialect, and it's really, really weird. But it's all about kind of like demonic possession of a. I think like the devil is in a goat or something along those lines. It's weird. It's a very weird movie. And Hereditary, you've seen Hereditary, haven't you? You did a review of it, didn't you? Yeah. Way back.
Yeah.
But Hereditary is an interesting one because I liked it all the way up until a certain point, and then it just got ridiculous. So
it's into a different direction.
Yeah, it's like it was two different movies. It got up to like the third act, if you want to call it, and the first two acts were one cohesive unit, and then someone's just kind of went, "I'm bored of that now. Let's just make it as crazy as possible," and you just kind of go, where did that come from? But yeah, so
I would recommend Mandy with Nicolas Cage. Watched it last week. It's a horror. It is absolutely wappy. Yeah, go watch it just for how crazy that film is.
Oh, hang on, I've just seen.
I think Barry's put a good one for you, Ant.
That's what I've just seen. Okay, Barry. Okay. I'm talking to you right now. Okay. Just me and you. Bohemian Rhapsody is not a good movie. The performance of Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody is fantastic. It's really good, and it is deserving. Rami Malek was deserving of the amount of awards that he got for that, because his transformation into Freddie Mercury was captivating. I was transfixed to him. I fully believed it was Freddie Mercury. That's where the line gets drawn for me on praising that movie, because the rest of it is not an enjoyable movie for me. I don't think it paints Freddie Mercury in any good light. I think that if that movie was made for Queen fans, it was solely done on the purpose of the music, which you can't argue. Queen music is great and you sing along to it, but a lot of it felt like a music video. The story in itself, the director has even came out and said, for a biopic, we've not even told this story in its linear fashion. So from A to B, they changed the way events happened in the movie to make it more of an appealing movie, which is not a biopic. That's creating fiction from non-fiction. That's not a biopic. So I have a lot. I did actually, Barry, if you want to see my detailed review on it, I actually reviewed it. So go check that out. But I suppose that's an insight into Bohemian Rhapsody. But I didn't like it. Didn't think it was good. And the last 20 minutes of it is literally them at Live Aid, like the entire thing. If I wanted to watch it, I'd YouTube it. I don't need to see it in a movie, because they literally create it kind of like scene for scene, which is pointless.
You can breathe now, Ant.
That's it, Barry. We're done. We're done. No more.
Let's have a look. Heather, I've not watched Green Inferno. Sorry.
Green Inferno. I've heard about that. Is that like the tribe kind of movie, Heather? It's kind of like an Apocalypto kind of thing. Have you seen Apocalypto? Mel Gibson directed it.
I've seen that, yeah.
It's a banging movie. I think Green Inferno is kind of like that.
Misery is a great film. I can see a few of you writing Misery. Brilliant
Misery,
film.
fantastic. Yeah, the hobbling, the ankle hobbling on in Misery is a scene. That is a scene. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I've always wondered that. How? So I watched a Close Encounters, and I seen how Steven Spielberg was trying to get the reactions of the children, and it was how he was making them cry and stuff like that. So I think he just had people behind the scenes, or I think they'd tell the kids some horrible stuff. Your mom's gonna die or some shit like that.
Well, I think they I can't remember what movie it was, but it might have even been Exorcist. No, it wasn't. It was Close Encounters actually. Spielberg told them that they were going to kill some puppies.
Yeah,
and it made them cry. But Exorcist, they told the girl in Exorcist, because of obviously all the makeup and the prosthetics that she had to wear, and she looked horrible by the end of that movie, that they told her every day that it was Halloween, that they were doing like a Halloween thing, so it didn't scare her because she knew that she was dressing up to look scary, and that she wouldn't be freaked out by herself. So that was one way that they tried to kind of like ease it for her a little bit.
Alex, Kill List, great film. I remember Keith Dagley lent me that. There's a kitchen scene in that. Oh, it's brutal.
Nick, I've just seen one here for you.
Alex, The Lighthouse. I love The Lighthouse.
You loved a particular scene in it, didn't you, mate?
There were many scenes in this that were weird, but yeah, I really liked it. It was dead. I think the acting was awesome. The setting was creepy, and yeah, just to see Robert Pattinson in some weird situations was interesting to watch.
Yeah, Nigel, I think I agree with you in terms of horror movies. Maybe not black and white oldies, but I do think that better horror movies create more of a scary atmosphere rather than just the jump scares you get these days. I think a lot of horror movies rely on the soundtrack to play a massive hit of violin just when someone jumps out at you and throws a lot of blood and gore at it, and maybe CGI these days rather than actual practical blood, which is annoying. But I do think that the more scarier movies that I've watched and the films that I get more scared by are those that are more atmospherically scary. That they create a bit of tension and they create you to sit on the edge of your seat a little bit more. And a prime example of that is, I think we even spoke about it last week. And I don't know if you can call it a horror. It could be classed as a horror, but A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place is a perfect example. I mean, you can't get jump scares out of it because, I mean, I think there are a few jump scares in it because of the sounds of the creatures, but you can't get jump scares out of it because there's hardly any dialogue in that movie. So that is a great example of how you create atmospheric tension and create an atmosphere that gets you on the edge of your seat and gets you really kind of reaching to put a pillow in front of your face. And that's exactly what you want from a horror movie. So I totally agree with you there, Nige.
One similar to that I really liked. It's not a up there horror film, but it's more the atmospheric Strangers, The Strangers with Liv Tyler. And I think
the first one,
I think that was more that you sort of put yourself in the situation of if someone's in your house.
Mate, that is a weird movie, and I saw something about that because it's a true story, isn't it? Like, I don't think the events that happened are a true story, but it's just that these people went out and they were found. But I heard that they didn't. I don't know if it's the first or the second one, but they didn't get authorization from the people's family to create the movie, because they went to them and said, "Can we make this story into a movie out of courtesy for the family?" And they said no, and they did it anyway,
Right.
Which is pretty shoddy of them. But yeah, it's a creepy movie.
Guys, if any of you guys want to ever come on We're going to be doing this every week.
Yeah, we'd be happy to have you on. Yeah.
So yeah, anytime you want to come on, just let us know. If you want to come on any week or whatever, yeah, just feel free.
Alex, is that Creep as in the one in the London Underground?
That was good.
Because that is a weird movie. That is a really weird movie.
Crumb, I'm glad you've watched it, and yes, it is great. Jim, Jim, are you on which? I think there's two The Outsider films. Are you on about the Jared Leto film on Netflix, or is it another Outsider film? I think it's the same.
I think I offended Barry. Sorry, mate. Is Phoebe old enough to watch The Goonies? I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. There's no swearing or anything like that in The Goonies. I think the worst thing is the finding the skulls, or maybe Sloth, maybe just because the way he looks.
Yeah, he looks scary, doesn't he?
But I think nowadays it's probably because it looks quite fake, doesn't it? So yeah, I think she would be old enough to watch The Goonies. I don't think she'll have any problem with that. Oh, hang on, here's Hamish. Bohemian Rhapsody was Rami Malek lip syncing on a paper thin script. Compare it to Rocket Man, no contest. I've not watched Rocket Man, but I totally agree with the first point.
Creep 2. I didn't get the chance to see Creep 2. But I do love all the foreign horror films.
Wreck.
So, yeah. That was a really good one, to be fair. That surprised me, that did. And
Scary as hell.
The Japanese stuff.
Okay. I don't know if you can class it as a horror movie, but you've just said Japanese. Battle Royale. Has anyone seen Battle Royale? Imagine Hunger Games, but properly done. So violent. Have you seen it? No, you've got to have seen it. Come on, Nick, you've got to have seen it. It's old. It's an older movie now. I think it was 80s maybe that it was made. But Battle Royale, the premise is that a class from school get thrown into this island, and they get implanted with a neck collar, I think it is, and basically that they have to fight to the death, and it's last man standing. And if they refuse to do it, they just explode the collars. So it's a very basic premise, but it's like it's as you would expect it. It's like, I feel like that's what Hunger Games was probably based on loosely. But yeah, it's great.
The collars in Total Recall. Or is it Running Man?
2 weeks.
Running Man, I think it is. Rob Zombie movie.
Rob Zombie's just like torture porn.
Devil's Rejects was a bit of a creepy film.
Rob Zombie's Halloween remake was shoddy.
I didn't think it was too bad.
The second one was awful.
Yeah, the second one wasn't great. The first one was watchable, but yeah.
Pattinson's been great for so long now, and I'm hoping he stays great for Batman. I'm not going to lie, mate.
Did anyone watch the new trailer for Tenet that come out today?
I saw that the trailer came out. I am very ready to watch.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued in terms of the bit in the trailer where he tries to shoot, but everything then starts rewinding, going backwards.
Mate, that movie's going to be crazy. It's like it's when you see it, it's got Nolan written all over it. Like you get the sense that it's a Nolan movie.
And Pattinson is smashing it.
So, Alex, that low budget Blumhouse starring. Oh, is that Creep? You mean?
Oh, he might be on about The Outsider, maybe.
All right.
Alex, did you watch The Rover? I thought Pattinson was brilliant in that with Forgot his name now. Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce is the one. Oh my gosh! Right, I think we've almost caught up with the comments now. Heather, Battle Royale. Yep, you know the score. Tony's just suggested Debbie does Dallas. Filth tone. Second Halloween was garbage. Absolutely.
See you later, Bex. Enjoy the.
Yeah.
You get an eye in tomorrow. I think Tony said he's going to get up and do all the stuff.
I think he messaged us earlier on saying that he's got the schooling covered for the next week, so you're fine.
Yeah. Oh, Tony said he'll come on. Yeah, definitely, Tony. We'd love to have you on, mate.
I think Hamish also said that he would be happy to talk anything Star Wars related. Nick, how are you with your Star Wars knowledge?
I think I'll ban you then, Hamish.
And I think I saw Bex earlier on. She put something about she doesn't like Lord of the Rings. So you have to do something to remedy that, if I'm being honest, because that's not allowed.
Oh, who done it? Nigel, I just watched recently Knives Out.
Oh, mate, I still need to watch it. I've heard it's so good.
Really good. Yeah, it really surprised me. Great cast. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really want to watch it.
Of a who done it.
I remember when it came out in the cinema and I saw the trailer for it and I was like, yes, I'm definitely going to watch that. And it was just something that was like, yes, and make sure I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to make sure I go watch it. And by the time I got around to it, it was like, yeah, it's gone now. But I've heard it's so good.
Yeah, it is good. What's your favourite, Nigel?
See you later, Tone. Night, mate.
See you, Tone.
You need to get that sleeping if you can do all that homeschooling. Chernobyl is another one that I need to get around to watching. I've heard really, really good things. Obviously, it's the highest rated thing on IMDb, isn't it? Overtook Game of Thrones. So yeah.
Are you talking about Stallone's Cobra? Good man. I'm joking.
I don't think it is Cobra, is it? Yeah, that doesn't sound like Hamish at all. Yeah, I've heard great things about Chernobyl.
Yeah,
I've not actually heard anything bad about it, which is interesting. Chernobyl is almost like a horror series.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely be up for watching it.
Sleeping with the Enemy. It rings a bell, that one. Can't remember who's in it. See you, Madsen.
See you later, mate. Lucky number 7. Hey.
You like that film? Really liked it.
What a movie. Yeah, I really enjoy that.
Brilliant film. And surprisingly, Bruce Willis is quite good in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're starting to...
Yeah, there's a lot of big names in that. A lot of big names. It's Ben Kingsley, isn't it? Morgan Freeman, Bruce Willis, Josh Hartnett. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think that was around about the time Josh Hartnett was in quite a lot of stuff. You don't really see him in anything these days, really, do you?
And Lucy Liu in it?
I think she might. Yeah, she's his next door neighbor or something like that, or the girl across the hall.
Yeah, brilliant film.
Yeah, really good movie. But yes, I Oh, hang on. You've visited Chernobyl. That explains a lot. A kid, Hamish, a kid.
How you got some nice photos. Julia Roberts.
Straighten those towels. Are you telling her to straighten the towels, or? What's is anyone actually currently watching any TV series at the minute? Anything that we need to jump on? Anything worth promoting? Or how about the last movie you watched that you didn't like?
I think I might
Nick's was
start.
obviously Child Play.
I think I might start that Chernobyl.
Yeah, I think it's only like 6 episodes long as well, isn't it?
Was it?
I don't think. Let me quickly IMDb it. Hang on a second. I don't think it's. I don't think it's long. Chernobyl.
Yeah, the series with Mark Ruffalo, his newest one. It seems to be decent. I've only watched 1 episode so far.
Chernobyl's 5 episodes long.
All right, okay, I'll definitely check that out then.
Yeah, you can do that in Lazy Sunday.
Gangs of London. If you've not watched it, go watch it. I absolutely loved it. The Rookie. Right, okay. Struggling through Marcella. Rise of
Skywalker, Hamish. I actually didn't mind. I did a review of it, and I didn't mind it. There's a couple of things in it that annoyed me. The use of the Force. They just seem to kind of just do what they want and just claim it's Force now, which is a little annoying. But I didn't mind it for what it was. Scoob is hot garbage. I didn't expect it to be anything else, if I'm being honest.
Andy, I'm going to say it to you again. The Crow. Hashtag.
The Crow.
I think I've messaged him about 20 times saying hashtag The Crow. He's had my Blu-ray for about a year and a half.
See, what he's going to do is he's telling you he's not watching it, but he's going to, when he gives it you back, he's going to reenact the entire movie. But yeah, he's been learning it for that long. Waco.
I need to have a look at that.
Yeah, never heard of it. And he watched it for the podcast.
Oh, what did you think? Let me know what you thought of The Crow. I absolutely love The Crow.
No, I don't think he watched The Crow for the podcast. I think he watched Scoob for the podcast.
Andy, you got me excited.
Yeah, it's not The Crow. He was talking about Scoob. Any day I'll watch The Crow. I just don't have the time. I believe you've got nothing but time on your hands at the moment, so definitely watch it. I mean, I still haven't watched it, so I can't really say anything. So, oh, is it actually about Waco? Like the actual thing? It's like the siege at Waco or something like that. It was a thing that actually happened. It's like, I think it was religious fanatics who killed a load of people. Oh, I watched the movie. Is it Red Dawn? Is it Red Dawn?
With Hemsworth?
No, it's not Red Dawn then. Oh, what is the movie I'm thinking of that's similar to it? But it's about kind of like Christian religious fanatics that go like a bit crazy. And they end up like shooting a load of people and holding people hostage and shooting out the police and stuff like that. Is that what it is that we're talking about here? What is that movie called? It's Red State, Heather. Red State. That's the one. Thank you. That is the one. If you've not seen it, Nick, watch it. It's interesting.
I've watched Red State.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So is Waco kind of like that?
Branch Davidians.
Branch Davidians.
With David Koresh. I've not heard of that one.
You're gonna have to explain a little bit more on that, Luke. Never
Let's
heard
check
of
some
that.
of these. You're banging loads out here that I've
Yeah.
not.
Apparently, Taylor Kitsch is really good in Waco, but yes, it's about the court which turned into a shootout. Yeah.
What do you think of Taylor Kitsch as an actor?
It's all right. I can't remember the last thing I watched with him in. Let me have a look.
I think the last thing I saw him in was the True Detective season.
No,
3.
it's just I've just seen. I know exactly what the last thing that I watched with him in. Just looking at it on here, it's unfortunately it's Wolverine Origins.
Oh yeah, he was Gambit, wasn't he?
No, tell her lie, it's not. It's Savages. Yeah, watch Savages. It's got
Remind me.
Selma Hayek.
Oh yes, is that where she's the gangster woman?
Yeah, and him and Quicksilver from.
Remember the
What's his name?
start? It's got Ryan Reynolds in it.
Yeah. That's the last thing I watched him. I saw him in, which is a good movie.
Crumb just reminded me there's a horror. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. There was a horror series. I think it was Hamish. You remind me of this one. I think it's called Kingdom, and it's like a zombie set in the ancient times in Japan. It's a decent like zombie one, very different take on it. I think it's called Kingdom. But yeah, that's a really good horror-ish TV show. Hey, Mish, I don't know what Last Kingdom is, but you just reminded me of Kingdom, the zombie one.
Last Kingdom, is that not the kind of like medieval type deal? I think it might be. It like the thumbnail of it reminds me of The Witcher. Which
yeah, I've not
talked about.
Andy with Black Panther, but his new one looks like it's pretty decent. Where he's lost all the weight for it because everyone thought. I forgot what it's called now. Summit Bros, I think. But yeah, it looks
like five brothers or something like that.
Yeah, Bloods or something.
Yeah,
looks pretty good.
Basically, how England was formed is that king. I think that's Last Kingdom. Yeah, very medieval type stuff.
Yeah. Guys, what films are you looking forward to when cinemas open, if they open? What film do you want to see in the cinema this year?
Five Bloods, that's the one, mate. That's the one. Saw that this is not like a movie related thing, but I saw that Ben Affleck posted, or it was actually Kevin Smith that posted it. But Ben Affleck posted about his him wanting to be on the live stream with SNYDER, saying that he missed it. I don't know if it sounded genuine though. When I watched it, I'm just kind of like, you could be doing that now just because.
Think he'll slip on the suit for some additional.
No, that cape's been hung up. As much as I'd love for him to come back as Batfleck, like, it's not going to happen, is it? Annoyingly, it's not going to happen.
Right Place 2. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing how they take the sequel. See if it has any more tense scenes like the first one.
I hope it's like the first one. We kind of touched on it last week, didn't we? I hope it's like the first one because the first one's really good. Really good.
Paul Blart, I've not heard of that one. Is that the sequel to How Pronounce You, Chuck and Larry?
Andy's favourite movie. Tenet's definitely got to be up there for me, though.
Tenet is definitely, yeah. I think that's going to be the first one. They're saying that Tenant. I always call it Tenant.
Tenant.
It's going to make a lot of money because it's going to be the first film in cinema.
Everyone's going to watch it.
Not that everyone's going to watch it. It's going to have every single screen in the cinema.
That's the point, yeah.
Saying, yeah, even though not a lot of people will go in, it will have all the screens available for it in all the cinemas. So we'll have a hell of a lot of screens.
It means that on a good day, you might get a screening to yourself.
Yeah. Because they might do all the social distancing and stuff in the cinema.
Maybe. I remember when I went to go see Black Panther. I went on. It was a day that I booked off, and I'm not booked off specifically to go see Black Panther, but it was a day that I booked off, and I wasn't doing anything in the morning. So it was like on the earliest showing. I think it was like 10:30 in the morning or something like that. I went, and it was IMAX, and I was literally the only one in that screening. It was wicked. Just sat there on the back row with my feet up.
Especially an IMAX one.
Yeah, it was mad. It was great.
I love IMAX.
Oh, hang on, we've got some Circle.
No, I've not seen that one. Is that a horror? Nige.
That's not. It's reminded me, and I don't know why it's reminded me. I think it's just because it's a shape. But have you seen The Cube?
The old film? Yeah.
Great movie. It's a great movie. I kind of like figure out how to get out this place with all the booby traps and stuff like that.
Yeah. I can remember Neil talking about it, and he's like,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was like, I can remember because they were like, I watched it when I was quite young, and there's a scene in it where someone gets literally cut up into cubes. I mean, it seemed like like Resident Evil. It's a little less futuristic than that, but they stand and then something goes like that, and then they just stop, and their whole body just starts to fall into cubes. And I remember watching that when I was far too young to be watching something like that, and I was like, I have to watch the rest of this movie now. But yeah, like I love that movie.
Think of Cabin in the Woods.
First one's orchestrated and tense. They're trying to catch lightning in a bottle again. By opening the stakes will lose its effect. That's what I'm worried about, Andy. I agree. I want it. I think I want it more to be. I want it to be really good. But the issue is that when you've got something as good as the first one, like you said, the stakes are really high. It makes it very, very difficult for you to be able to do that again because it was so well done in the first. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see it, and I want to see what it is that they do with it. And I hope it's really good. But the first one was so good, you kind of go, maybe you should have left it.
Yeah. Or is it just rehashing?
Yeah, and then that loses the effect of the first one. So I was speaking to Andy a while ago about Kingsman. Kingsman 1 was really, really good. Loved Kingsman 1. Kingsman 2 then made me start, and we were speaking about it made us start realizing that I actually didn't like number 1 as much as I did because Kingsman 2 was that bad.
Yeah.
Don't bother. Don't bother because it leaves a sour taste in your mouth about Kingsman 1. And that's what I don't want this to do. I don't want this to flop so hard because the first one is so good that it makes you then start to question whether or not you should have liked the first one. Will you shoot me if I say Bill and Ted? No. Oh my God, we keep doing this. Bill and Ted's great.
Coming out soon, isn't it?
Yep.
We'll see how that goes. I'll be intrigued to see what way they take Bill and Ted.
I'll be interested to see on how many different ways that Keanu Reeves can pull off the John Wick look with different characters because he looks the exact same in John Wick, Bill and Ted, and The Matrix, apparently. So
Teddy's had a shave at least. At least. Wonder Woman 1984. Definitely up for that.
Yeah, the suit, the The gold suit, though.
Don't worry about the suit.
I am worried about the suit.
It's in the suit, so it doesn't matter.
Gal Gadot's great, and she is Wonder Woman, isn't she? Like, you see her now, and I just see Wonder Woman. But when I saw that suit in the trailer, I was like, I get it. It's a comic accurate suit. It's a very comic accurate suit, and props to them for doing it. But I'm like, I hope it looks better in the film.
Yeah.
But
Do you think that they are doing again, which I hope they're not, rehashing Wonder Woman and switching the roles? So Steve Trevor is now how Wonder Woman was in London, not knowing things, and now Steve Trevor is.
Yeah, I just don't know how they're going to do this, because Wonder Woman 1 was set in World War II, right? Yeah, World War II. World War One.
I don't know.
One of the world wars, anyway. Yeah, but you're looking at 20s, 30s, right? This is set in 1984, and Steve Trevor. How are they even doing this?
I think that
because as far as I was aware, that he snuffed it in the last one, right? Spoilers. Sorry.
That she sort of sees him there. He's not actually there, but
it's her imagination almost.
That's how I think it is. I think from the stuff that I've read, I think she's sort of given something where she's imagining that he's there, but he's not actually there. But I don't know how that will work. So I think, imagination. I think.
I've seen The Circle. It's so bad, reminding me of a GCSE project, horribly written and trying to be the Cube. I think that's probably what it. Yeah, Cube. Great. But I'll steer clear of The Circle then, if that's the case. Not sure if it's show pre-lockdown, but the Kingsman is one. Yeah, is that that's the newest Kingsman, but it's not got any of the original Kingsman in it. I think Ralph Fiennes is in it. I think.
Not sure.
Heather didn't like the platform. It was one that I discussed last week. It is a very divisive kind of movie. It's easily unliked, I think. You've got to like that style of film because it's very slow. But yeah, I can understand why people wouldn't like it. Totally.
Wayne's World. Classic. Love Wayne's World. I think Mike Myers now, do you think he's struggling because he's sort of outdated his comedy?
Yeah, the thing is with Michael Myers is Mike Myers is that I think he could retire now from Shrek alone. Yeah. But I think Austin Powers is that type of humor, like it's kind of almost filthy toilet humor, is not something that is really, I'm going to use the word in loose terms, but it's not really something that's tolerated these days. It's not something that you can get away with as easy because it's quite offensive. I think people back when like Austin Powers and that kind of comedy came out, I don't think people were as easily offended at things back then. But you release something like that to the general population now, I think a lot of people wouldn't take too kind to it, just because of the way that it is. It's quite misogynistic. It's quite sexist, and I just don't think that today's audience or who it would be aimed at would be in favor of it. I would. I think Austin Powers and that kind of Mike Myers humor is really, really funny, but I can also see people of a younger age, of the couple of years, maybe even more than a couple of years, but 10 years younger than we are, maybe even 15 years younger than we are, would get heavily offended at it because of the type of world we're living in at the minute.
He's been making films, but he's only been in a film for like a couple of minutes. Little.
The last film I watched him in was Inglourious Bastards.
That's what I was just about to say. And he was minimal in that. Okay, that's the circles, I believe.
It's either that or Platform.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how they do Cheetah now on the back of Cats.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to tone that one down a little bit.
Yes. Was it not one of the first films to have so much product placement in there with like Pepsi and all that? You reviewed this one, didn't you, Ant?
I absolutely adored this movie, but I think I loved it. I'm trying to think back to it. Like, I loved it from the story that's being told, the acting on play, the appreciate. I can appreciate it from a filmmaker's perspective on how hard it must have been to be able to create that kind of movie. The camera work in that movie was sublime. I loved 1917 thoroughly. Yeah, I agree with Andy. It's beautiful.
I've not watched it yet.
It's one of those movies that invokes quite a strong emotional response from you because the war is it's very factual in its storytelling. Like, you can believe this kind of stuff actually happened rather than just a generic war movie that just kind of like this. Like, I don't know if these two people were told to go and do what they did, but I can believe, based upon the portrayal of it and how it's filmed and how it's portrayed, I can believe it. And it creates such more of an emotional response when you're watching it because of that. And that's just one element of why I absolutely adored that movie. There's so many layers to that movie that I could peel off and discuss, but I absolutely loved it.
Is that the one where it's sort of classed as a one take film?
What, 1917?
Like Birdman.
Yeah, so there's only one hard cut in it, but the rest of it is all. It's not all one take, of course. It's not. That'd be impossible to do. But it's all filmed like it is one take. But there is one single hard cut in it when a big noise happens and someone falls down the stairs or something like that, I think. And it cuts because he passes out or something like that, and then it starts again later on in the day when he wakes up. But there is one hard cut. But yeah, the majority of it is filmed like it's one shot, which is gorgeously done.
Scott, I used to have lots of 3D films. I think I would still watch them, but I don't have the PlayStation anymore. So I think I'm waiting on the PS5 to come out. So when I get that, and if it's got the 3D in it, then I'll probably get back on my 3D films. The best 3D films that I've watched, Avatar's definitely up there.
Just about to say, like, I'm one of my biggest cinematic regrets is not watching Avatar in the cinema. I can't wait till the second one comes out just so I can watch the first in the cinema again, because it no doubt will get re-released.
One is a SNYDER film in 3D, and it was Legends of the Guardians with the owls animation film he did. And there's two scenes in that looked absolutely amazing in 3D. I think I used to use it as when people used to come to my flat back in the day, I used to use it as one of my sort of demos to show people how good 3D was. So yeah, I love 3D. I'm intrigued to see what Cameron does with Avatar.
Yeah, because he wants to try and make a 3D experience without the use of 3D glasses, doesn't he?
I believe so. And he's doing. I've seen a few pictures come online of where he's doing the underwater element. So I'm interested to see how he does that. To see how it differs to like your Aquamans and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because he say the best and only way for him to do an underwater scene is underwater. You have to be underwater regardless, which is fair enough.
Well, he does all his documentaries going down to the wildlife. And if you look at some of his earlier films, like The Abyss, you'll see elements from The Abyss in Avatar. So it wouldn't surprise me how the underwater scenes look for the sequels. I'm pretty sure they'll look amazing.
1917 is a very different film at the cinema. Yeah, totally agree. And I think Andy's mentioned it, a bit like Dunkirk. Like, I didn't watch Dunkirk until it was out on DVD, or it was out on TV, and I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. But from what I've been told, it was like a completely different experience in the cinema. It was like an experience in the cinema, and I think that's the same with 1917. I think you'll get a very different experience from home TV than you will do at the cinema. Avatar visual stayed alone with me for days. Again, yeah, I'm super regretful and jealous of everyone that watched Avatar, because when it first came out, I was kind of like, I've got no interest in this, and I think it was more me just being stubborn and going against the grain because everyone wanted to watch it, and I was just like, nah, I'm not bothered by it. But then the first time I watched it, I was like, why was I so stubborn? Because I love it.
There's a few scenes in Avatar when I watched it in the cinema that really stood out in terms of how the special effects had gone up a notch. And one of it was the sort of when he's in the jungle and seeing all the neon, that looked fantastic. But where he falls in the water, and then when he comes out, I don't know, just that scene just stood out for me of how the water looked on him, because I knew he was fully CGI. And it just, for me, just looked immense. PS5, Barry. Yes. Lots. Did you see the demo that come out the other day? That looked amazing. When it pans out to the city at the end and the characters flying through. The sound. Well, what I said to Neil was I'm looking forward to the sound on some of the horror games, if they're going to add that sort of realistic touch to it. And they're saying it's 100 times faster than the current PlayStation, which should be good.
It's a bit like Jurassic Park, not the same outside the cinema. Oh, I don't know. Jurassic Park still holds up for me. I'd watch Jurassic Park all day long. I mean, I didn't watch it in the cinema. I think I was too young to watch it when it came out in the cinema, but yeah, I would watch Jurassic Park every day of the week if I could. I love Jurassic Park.
Films like Jurassic Park, that how your eyes adjust to the special effects. So when that first came out, the T-Rex scenes looked phenomenal, and you were like, wow.
Well, if I'm being honest, mate, like I've had that discussion with someone about how the special effects look in Jurassic Park, because the majority of it was done with like practical effects, and there are only some special effects in it, like the raptors in the kitchen when they're jumping up, that's special effects. When the T-Rex is chasing them, and you can see the T-Rex in the mirror, that's special effects. And there are some special effects when it's eating the car and stuff like that. It's attacking the kids. I don't think they look that bad. Even by today's standards, I still don't think they look that bad.
The end bit where the T-Rex is in there and the banner's falling down.
Right, okay.
All the practical stuff still looks awesome. I think
it's the best way to do. It's the best way to do dinosaurs, because and Jurassic World has taught us this, because everything in Jurassic World, in my opinion, in both of them, look not plastic, but it just looks like it's not there. You get a totally different feel, especially for, you're talking about a dinosaur. You're supposed to have something there. It's like a presence that's supposed to make you terrified. You can't do that with a tennis ball that you're looking at, or a man in a green suit. You just can't do it. I think
that's what sort of annoys me now with the current Jurassic Park films. Some of them are okay, but I love the practical aspect of the first one. But the last Jurassic Park that annoyed me was sort of how intelligent the dinosaurs were getting in this flying away from explosions. Like, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see what the new Jurassic Park looks like. Yes, Hamish,
Yeah.
the graphic. Go on, sorry, mate.
Sorry, I was about to mention that comment for Barry. As it came out, it made me thankful that I didn't live in that age. Totally, and that's the sense of what I was talking about with the immersiveness of the story and how you fully believe that this mission that these two people were on actually happened, and it's a testament to the storytelling. To be fair, because it does make you thankful for the life that you've got, because a lot of people had it so much worse.
Hacksaw Ridge. That was another one I wanted to watch. That was Gibson, wasn't it?
Isn't it Garfield? Andrew Garfield.
Use the weapons in
I've
war.
heard good things.
I hope they keep the VR, Barry. Yeah, I'd love to. Neil has got the VR, and he said Resident Evil in the house walking around was insane. And
Mate, I played Resident Evil without VR, and it's scary enough. So with VR, I don't think I'd move.
so yeah, I hope they do keep the VR or upgrade it to make it even better. Oh, go on.
The scene in Jurassic Park, the T-Rex is approaching the water and the glass is rippling. You had the feeling that it was approaching the cinema. Yeah, I wish I kind of got that from a viewing perspective, because I've never experienced Jurassic Park in the cinema. But I suppose that goes down to what Nige was saying about the immersiveness and building an atmosphere. Jurassic Park is in no way a horror movie, but you get there's parts of it where you're terrified, and it's just because it builds the atmosphere of how it should be. When being approached by a T-Rex, you would be absolutely terrified, and that's just a testament to great filmmaking. And Ravi is in the house.
Ravi, put the tuna tin down. Have a sip of water.
Ravi, we were talking about you earlier on, actually.
Barry, what have you played any horror games on the VR? I need to play one.
I don't. I'm good. Not experiencing that, if I'm being honest.
Ravi, Hamish, Mr. Hughes is on here.
Look, he's coming in with profanity straight away. Look at that. Oh,
Come on, Ravi.
I never said it was scary. I said it creates a tense atmosphere. It does its job. It's not a horror movie. It's not a scary movie in any way, shape, or form. But it does its job in creating an atmosphere that you would expect when you are in the middle of a park with dinosaurs running around trying to kill you. You would be scared. You'd be terrified, and it does well creating that atmosphere. Don't, Barry. Don't.
Barry, just do it.
Just don't. If you do it, please record it, because it'll be hilarious. But it's scary.
Or come on here and then play it as we watch you.
Yeah, do that.
Ravi, what films have you watched lately? Well, and have you bought any nice fragrances?
Yes, Ravi's an avid fragrance user.
Ravi, Ant's bought Club de Nuit.
I have. I can see what people mean by the opening as well. The opening is a little different, harsh. But yeah, so I can see how people kind of would turn their nose up at it.
Good film, Ravi. Is this the martial art one where he's got the knives? Yeah, I like that one. I think I reviewed that one. Reborn.
Ravi's kind of got a reputation of Chuck Norris. Okay, we're descending into chaos now.
Some old school Shaw Brothers. Ravi, I've got a bit hooked on the DNA of Tuscan leather after your £3 sniffathon.
I don't understand it. I really don't.
You need to try it more. I was similar. I wasn't a big fan of it, but then that raspberry dry down was.
It smells like dirty leather. It smells like leather that has been worn and used for maybe like 3 years. And I get that that's the appeal, but I don't understand that appeal.
It's nice.
And I don't get the raspberry note at all. I just smell as dirty leather.
I think it with Ravi's one.
Nigel, no, go on. Sorry, yeah.
With Ravi's one, it was leaning more towards the raspberry than the leather. Yeah.
Nigel, have you got a favorite leather scent? I know what mine is. I mean, I don't dare wear it because I'm not. I feel like it would make me smell like a biker.
Just wear all leather.
Yeah, well, that's what it. That's what it. That's what it reminds me of. Ombre leather, like Tom Ford ombre leather. It smells incredible. It smells immense. It smells like a fresh leather jacket. But I don't know if I want to smell like it, or I don't know if I dare smell like that. So I don't know what the dry down's like.
Why don't you just get some like Ross Geller leather pants? Get some stuff. Andy, it's all about the chocolate.
You've been looking at Daniel Hosier, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been having a look at that one. Well, just Daniel's line. I was looking at it about a month ago. Have you tried any others from that line, Nige? Ravi, what's your favourite aftershave at the minute? What's your lockdown aftershave? And anyone else, what's your lockdown?
I'll be Club de Nuit for Ravs. Got to be. He loves that. He absolutely loves it.
Yeah, no, he likes his tobacco vanille.
Tobacco vanille. Tobacco vanille. Again, another one I don't really. It's harsh on the tobacco, man.
I'm not a big fan.
Harsh. I don't get the vanilla on that at all. At all.
I'm not a big fan of that one.
I can remember when I first smelled it, I was really excited to first smell tobacco vanille. And I was like, yes, I really want it. Like I've heard amazing things about it. And I sprayed it and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Oh, I was just like, why does anyone want to smell like this?
Ravi, Anthony is saying you actually stink. Until dawn. Quality game. I can imagine
Until
VR.
Dawn.
Awesome.
Until Dawn is a great game.
I think even the cutscenes are brilliant for that game.
Yeah, it's like watching a movie.
It is. It felt a bit like Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Looking to purchase a new one payday. Ravi, we got paid today.
Ombre to back, and I don't know how to say that one.
Quetzali?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a look and get some samples because I was having a look. I was having a look a while ago. Scott's saying Mystery Oud is his favourite from that line. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look. I was looking at it a while ago. I came across his Instagram page, and I was having a look at ones. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get some samples.
I'm not a massive oud fan, other than oud wood. I think oud is a bit of an acquired smell, acquired taste, and
I'm oud for me to sort of.
it's very dirty smelling, isn't it? Like, I think that's more of the skanky ouds that you get that are really dirty smelling, but like, I don't know, it just smells like really, really dirty wood to me.
Yeah, I think I need to try a few more oudy type of fragrances.
I mean, I'm happy with oud wood for the rest of my life, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think I think when you hear oud, I think you do think there's that skanky element to it.
I mean, there's the Perfume Parlour clone of oud wood. That Agar for Men is perfect. It's absolutely perfect because it is almost identical to Tom Ford's, and it's Perfume Parlour prices, isn't it? So you're looking 12 quid for 50 ml, as opposed to like 160 quid for 50 ml, and its performance is probably better than Tom Ford's, because Tom Ford's got an issue with its performance, hasn't it? And it smells the exact same. So that's a no-brainer for me. I've not reached for that in a while, actually. I might grab for that tomorrow.
Yeah, go on.
No, sorry.
Are any of you guys going to get anything from Perfume Parlour when it opens up on the 30th?
Perfume Parlour?
I'd love for them to do a clone of the Nishane Annie. I want that vanilla scent at a cheaper price. Let's have a look. What's Nige put? Avocado, chili, copal, dahlia, incense, lime inspired by Mexico. Very different notes. That's very different to the
avocado and chili.
Yeah.
That is very, very unusual.
Lolita
Lampica.
I've not tried that one, Ravi. Is it any good?
There's I've been noticing on Barry's channel, he's talking a lot about a few from Latafa, I think it is, that are really, really quite nice and really reasonably priced as well. So it might be something that I look into as well, because he's got nothing but good things to say about some of them. And Kevin at Mersey Sense is also raving about one from Latafa as well, which is I can't remember the name of it, but he was saying it's a banging kind of like comforting fragrance. So it might be something to look into.
Alexandra. I've never had any Alexandra fragrances, but there's one that a few of the guys talk about where it's got, I think it's got like a chocolatey element to it. So I think that's one that I'd like to try, and I know a lot of people rave about it.
Yeah, isn't that the Dark Knight one? I think it is. I think it's I think it's their interpretation of Killian's Black Phantom. I've never smelt it myself, but I think it's a chocolatey vibe to it, like you said. And a lot of people go mad for it. Never smelt it myself.
Harry, you've been getting some good solid fragrances at the minute. Some
Mate,
nice
some great subscriber climbing as well.
Yeah.
Some great additional subs on your channel. L'Homme Ideal Extreme. I've got L'Homme Ideal cologne, but I've not tried the Extreme. I've tried the Eau de Parfum, which is quite a cherry almond, kind of like a cherry bakewell type, kind of like Mon Cherie from Rosa Salas, or Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, but not so cherry-y. It's quite nice though. Yeah, I'll agree. I'm getting some really good stuff from Rosa Salas. They some of them are a bit hit and miss. I'm not going to lie. Some of them I've had, but on the majority, they are quality.
I think
I can't really complain on the majority of that.
I think Vitor also needs a shout out just to how I think generous he's been for the whole community. I know he's been.
It's crazy how generous that guy is. He's not just generous. Like he's an all round good guy as well. Like he comes to like different people to get different opinions on things as well, and what he thinks works well, what's not working well. And he's really good at taking like constructive criticism on things. He never really takes it personally. And in my opinion, it's probably like the best way to do business. Really, is not to just put things out there and expect people to like it. It's to put it out there, get a feel for it, get an understanding of what's popular, what's not, and really work with the people that are going to be buying your products. And he does that perfectly. Like his like direct customer service is second to none.
Plummy fruity with a hint of oud. Scott,
plummy fruity.
I reviewed Tom Ford's plum Japonais, and I wasn't a big fan of that type of plum fragrance. I felt it was a bit too smoky for me. I wanted it to be a bit more on that fruity side and get rid of that. I think people think it's either boozy or smoky, and I felt it was more on the smoky side. I wasn't a big fan of that one. It was one of them fragrances where I think if you put it on, sometimes it can be a bit too cloying, and you feel like, oh, am I getting a headache from that? Even though I didn't put too much on, it's one of them ones where it gets a bit too much for me.
Yeah,
Alexandra, you see everywhere, and I think
yes, everywhere.
I need to try it, but I think they've got the UK site, but I think I see a lot of the US guys talking about Alexandra fragrances.
I'm interested in one of their interpretations. It's called Boardroom.
Oh yeah.
It's Office. I'm quite interested to see what it is, but they're only doing the larger sizes at the minute, which is like, I think it's like 45 quid. But if I'm going to try something, I don't want to go in with the full bottle straight away. I'll probably go for a sample size more than anything, just to see what it's like, just to see if it's close or not.
This
Nige,
one,
yeah, top geezer, yeah. Are you talking about Vitor there, Nige? Because I would agree.
Definitely. This Havas 1984. This is another one. I think this is an original creation, and this one gets a lot of talk and a lot of videos. So it's another one that I've been wanting to try for a long time. So yes, I think Barry. I think everyone says similar to that this is a good fragrance. So yeah, it's definitely one that I need to try.
Yes, Barry. I think Lattafa Ragba wouldn't. No, I think it's the Lattafa Ragba. I think that rings a bell. I don't know if the Wood Intense is, like you said, it's the new one, but I think I've heard you talk about that before, and I think I've heard someone else talk about it before and say it's really nice. Yeah, I agree. I think it's nice that you can find out what's in it, so you can kind of resonate with it a little bit more. But it's always nice to get two people's differing opinions on something that is the same. So one person could really pick up on one note, and one person could really pick up on the other. And I suppose that's just how we work as people. But yeah, it'd be cool to kind of like never really kind of know what the notes are, and just guess from your own experience of it.
And I think, Nigel, I think you mentioned it on Tony's video. I think a lot of reviewers are very hung up on the notes and identifying notes. I'm not one that could easily pick out a note from just smelling a fragrance. And I think, yeah, what you said there, I think it is better to give your own story and see what you pick up. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong. It's just what I think
it's what you get.
You're smelling. So I think, yeah, I'm not one to try and be as detailed with notes because, yeah, I'm not that great at picking them out.
Oh, Nigel got Boardroom. It's close. Good. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the smell of Office for Men. Like, I really do like it. And I know that me and you are in agreement with this one, that we really, really like it. And the fact that he's now released these 10ml bottles now is kind of like it's an access. It's a way of being able to access them, no matter what. The overall price for Off and Date for Men is it's definitely too high for what you are getting. So it's worth knowing that there are interpretations out there that are close, because if they are that close and they're as good, I don't think I've got any much reason to kind of go for a bottle that's over 100 quid, which I'm definitely not going to be doing.
I think I'm intrigued to see what he's doing. I know he's just doing the day and night for women. He's done there's a unisex, and I think he's got a club one coming out. So
the unisex one as well, isn't there? Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see what he does with them when they come out. But yeah, I think what he's doing is working for him. But yeah, I think the prices are a bit.
Yeah, he's got it. I mean, he's got his what like you said, it's working for him, it's a weird concept, really, and it's the same with Aaron Terrence Hughes, to be fair, because neither of them own a shop, neither of them are allowing you to sample something before you buy it, yet they are running out of stock. They're constantly getting sales. And I mean, look at Jeremy, for example. He's now garnered a full kind of franchise from it. Like, he's got men's, women's, unisex. He's got all of these fragrances that are superly expensive, like niche style expensive, but they are, for all intents and purposes, like designer style fragrances. Yet people are still buying them. Like, just straight up, just blind buying them, which is crazy considering how much money they're parting with. So like you said, they're doing something right. I don't know how you manage to convince people to do that. Like, I don't think I could ever convince someone to part over 200 quid for a bottle a date if I've never smelt it before.
That's why they're influencers.
Mate, it's special.
Yeah, I think Barry's just mentioned date. Yeah, I fully agree. Ultra male. I think when I reviewed it, that's what I got straight away. Was ultra male, and I think
I got this.
I think it was the dry down is slightly different, but I think why would I pay that much money when you can just buy ultra male?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like you said, I get this. I get LeBeau from it, but again, it's Jean Paul Gaultier. I think that date is heavily influenced by JPG, and like I said, I'm going to go into more detail on a review. But I think that he has been heavily influenced by these style of fragrances, which is why, especially this one. And again, I'm going to go into more detail of it in the review. But I think that he is telling people not to use this. He's saying, "Don't. It's not got great performance. It smells great on the opening, but it's not got great performance. This performs like a beast on me. Like I get the majority of the day on this easily with only a normal standard spraying." So I'm not too sure why I've got my own reasons of why I think he's probably telling people not to reach for this, because this is a hell of a lot more expensive and this is making him money, but this is more accessible to the market. So I don't know. But yeah, I think there is a lot of known DNA in there that he probably knows is more accessible, which is why he's telling people not to smell it, not to use it. I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting concept.
There was a video that I reviewed that dropped the same day where he mentioned a particular fragrance. I think it was
Comme de Garçon?
And for me, I felt this wasn't a great fragrance. It was a bit of a naughty type of fragrance, and it quite surprised me the way that it was pushed in terms of this is a compliment getter, it's sexy, and yeah, it was totally none of that for me at all. So it's interesting how I don't know, people see fragrances and how they review them.
Yeah, I think it helps being paid.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't attest to the fact that he did get paid, because he never puts any kind of like disclosure or disclaimer on any of his posts or anything like that. But there's a part of me that does think he probably does get paid for a lot of his reviews, which fair play to him. If that's how he's making money, then that's how he's making money. He's got 1 million subscribers for a reason. As Nige said, yeah, 1 million subs definitely helps promote and gets your product shifted. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think you're right, Barry. I think people will judge a fragrance in a bad way if it's, I don't know, I think there's a culture now where every fragrance has to be beast mode. It has to have huge sillage, longevity. It has to have everything. Whereas I've got many fragrances where they don't last as long, but I still find them brilliant. A good example is not this one, but Chanel Allure Sport. Beautiful fragrance, absolutely love it. The performance is mega strong. It's not a projection monster. But yeah, I think a lot of people do get hung up on, I need that beast mode type of fragrance.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. I mean, I've not been in the fragrance kind of game long, but I'm a firm believer. You buy what you like to smell. If it lasts 2 hours, it lasts 2 hours. You're going to smell how you want to smell for 2 hours, and then you'll put it back on, or you won't. It doesn't have to last all day. It's nice that you can get something that lasts all day. But if I want to, let's say for instance, this didn't have a good performance. If it lasted 2 hours, I'll be respraying this every 2 hours because I love it. I absolutely love it. So I don't feel like there's there's any reason to only go for those that have got, like you said, got huge projection, huge CRs. It's nice that you can get compliments from those kind of things. But and if that's all you're wearing fragrances for, then I suppose that's what you're going to go for. But if you just want to smell good, you go for what you think smells good. I've got a Zara fragrance. For the life of me, the name escapes me, but I get about an hour and a half out of that, like max. And after an hour and a half, I'll just respray it. I mean, granted, it was only a tenner for 100 ml, so it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg to keep respraying and get another bottle or something. But if it only lasts me an hour and a half, I'm going to smell like that for an hour and a half, and then I'll respray it later and smell like it again for an hour and a half. It's not a massive chore to go and respray if you want to.
Yeah. Hi, Eve. Thanks for joining us. I think one fragrance which falls under that is Gypsy Water,
Mate.
by Rado. So me and Ant tried Gypsy Water, and again, performance isn't brilliant, but the dry down is really nice.
The dry down in Gypsy Water is one of the nicest smelling vanillas I've smelt. And it's not a huge, and again, Gypsy Water is not, it's a close to the skin kind of scent as well. After 2 hours, it was completely gone, like completely gone. And I don't know if that's because my hands were dry or what, but I think you were the same, weren't you? After 2 hours, it was gone. But the vanilla in that dry down is absolutely incredible. And if it's something that, I suppose these are the two polar differences. If you've got a Zara fragrance that's going to cost you £10 for 100 ml, or you get by Rado Gypsy Water, which is like £120, if not more, for 50 ml, you're going to be a little bit more conscious about the respray. But at the same time, if you go in buy that knowing that you're only going to get 2 hours out of it, then you probably won't respray a lot of time, and you probably just use it a little bit more frugally, and you'll probably only use it when you think that you're going to be in an event that only lasts 2 hours, let's say, for instance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree with you. The dry down in it is great, but it's not a huge performer. But it doesn't mean that I wouldn't buy it if I had the money to buy it.
Yeah. And I think what you've got as well is, I think, like Eve's just said there, I think some of the fragrances, regardless of how they perform, you'll wear them for how they make you feel or how you want to smell. So I know I'll go for Issey Miyake, not for all the performance, just that I know that when I wear that, I feel good and I feel like I know that I smell nice with it. So I think it's definitely not down to performance for me anyway. My nose has gone all sniffly.
Yeah, like Barry's saying the same thing, just enjoying the fragrance, not about everyone else smelling you. Yeah, and I think a lot of people get hung up on the compliment factor, and when you review a fragrance, one of the sections to talk about is compliments. It's we've got many videos out there saying my most complimented videos and stuff, and you've done many of them, and I think a lot of it is compliment factor, because you want to, if you're smelling nice, you would love it if someone says to you, you smell great. It's one of the nicest compliments you can get, in my opinion. But it's not all about that. But I think a lot of people do it for that and that sole purpose. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But I don't personally think it's all about that.
I think now I will tend to wear fragrances for me. So I won't just blind buy fragrances anymore. So I can review them. I'll buy fragrances that I want to wear. And if there's any fragrances that I do want to try, I'll sample them. So I won't blind buy full bottles anymore. I'll tend to just see if I can get a sample first, and if that sample excites me, or if it's something that if I want to purchase it, then I can go purchase it. So I'm in that position now where you need to think about what money you're spending on rather than just blind buying on these.
And I suppose that's the beauty of Perfume Parlour as well, because the majority of their interpretations are so spot on.
Yeah.
You can kind of get a feel for the DNA of it, at least, or the vast majority of what the fragrance is, without spending a fortune on a sample. Or even if you spend a £5, you're still going to get a decent amount that you could use for at least a good couple of weeks up to a month, where you're going to get some solid use out of it, because it's only a £5, and then you can make a decision whether or not you like it enough to buy the full bottle. It's the sensible way of doing it. I think a lot of people do like to blind buy from an excitement perspective. Definitely. I think I think it was Frags to Rich's video recently, he was talking about blind buying, and he just says he likes to do it from because it's quite exciting, because you don't know what it's going to smell like, but at the same time you could get an absolute stinker. So it's the gamble you take. But yeah, it's an expensive gamble. It's an expensive hobby if that's what you end up doing.
And I think I used to do that, but then I started.
I've done it.
I started having too many disappointments, and then I'd be thinking, what else could I have spent my money on? Now I've got a bottle that I don't like, and I don't think I'm going to use. I'm going to have to resell it. So yeah, I'd rather just get samples now rather than just go and get bottles. Barry Gravitas. Yeah, I'm intrigued with this one. Again, that's going to be one where I'm going to get a sample from Fragrance Samples UK, test it out, see how it is. It's not one that I would normally lean towards, because I know Mr. Smelly Dan likes his sort of old school type of barber shop, gentlemanly type of fragrances. So I'm just intrigued to see what he's done.
I actually watched Jensen's review Gravitas in a video he released today.
Yeah,
and he was saying it's quite an old school barbershoppy type thing, but it's kind of got a modern element to it. It's not as old school as he was expecting, because, like you said, he does like his old school type of fragrances, and he's tried to kind of create that based upon that. But he seemed to like it.
Barry, yes, Milton Lloyd. Interestingly, one of my highest viewed videos is my very first one of Victor, and the video is absolutely shocking. So all my video is just me filming a bottle and just talking about the bottle, but it's one of my highest viewed ones for Victor. And yeah, Milton Lloyd, the Aventus one. Anyway, I've not tried the Kuros one, but the Aventus one works really well. Anthony's just got a bottle today. I think we're going to do a video, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to plan on doing a kind of semi review for it. It's a newer purchase on me. I mean, it was an absolute bargain, if I'm being honest. I just picked it up from Amazon. I only picked up the 50ml bottle because my collection's starting to get a little bit out of control at the minute, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get through a full 100ml of it. So I thought I'll go for the 50ml bottle, and I think it cost me like £6. It's an absolute bargain, and the atomizer on it is a bit interesting, I won't lie. And I don't know if that's the same with all of Milton Lloyd's products. Barry, I don't know if it's more of like a body spray. And it's just a continuous spray. But yeah, from the first impressions of it, it's very fruity. Very, very fruity. I mean, I know I said that Pineapple Sauvage has got a killer pineapple opening. But yeah, very, very fruity. No, Nigel, I did not know that.
Wow, I'd never even put two and two together.
Oh my God, why? That's amazing.
I think he's had me, because I've asked him a few times. Have you? He must have thought I was all right, dick. I can remember messaging him going, "Have you tried this scent?" Good job I didn't go, "Oh, it sounds like a bag of shit."
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah. But speaking of Matt, he's produced some bangers, hasn't he? He's produced some absolute bangers recently, and I'm still I need to get my nose on that raspberry vanilla. I'm so tempted just to buy it, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'm so tempted because that purple gourmand is special.
Yeah, raspberry and vanilla, absolutely love that. And I think when I was talking to Matt, I said I think he wanted to sort of go in a direction of originality. All up for it, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to see what he could produce himself from an original point of view, because I think he seems to obviously know what he's doing with that. Definitely. So Nigel, my pocket scents for this week, my purple gourmand on, absolutely. Love it.
It's mental. It's mental. Like the more you smell that fragrance, the better it gets.
Yeah.
I
know
on a roll with more in the pipeline. He's done a reflection man. He's got, I don't know if it's going to be coming out soon, but he sent me a reflection man when he, it was a while ago when he sent me, I bought a Uomo Sport from him, their version of YSL Lom. He sent me a sample of a reflection man sample, and it is just, it's just heavenly. It really is just heavenly.
If you haven't had it, I'd probably say it's one of the best clones of Reflection Man that I've tried.
It's so good. Like the vibe that I get from it was suntan lotion almost. You know, the distinctive smell, and like the distinctive smell of that. And it's not to say that it smells like suntan lotion, but that's the vibe I get from it. And it takes me to the beach. Like as soon as I spray it, I'm just like engulfed in it, and it lasts for. And I know we're talking about performance; it's not really matter, but this one does last for a long time. And it's just a gorgeous scent, and I can't wait until it gets released, because that's another one where I'm going to have to get a bottle on day one. Like I'm going to have to.
Yeah. I think I'm looking forward to, because I think he's working on soon the autumn and winter fragrances ready for when we get to the colder months. So I'm intrigued to see what he brings out with that coming up anyway.
Yeah, I must admit, I think I much prefer my taste. I much prefer like colder weather fragrances. I think it's just it suits me. Like I don't get me wrong, I love a good freshie, but I much prefer those comforting, really kind of like almost kind of like boozy ones that you just sit there and you just feel warm in. Like that the one that I talked about last week, like Stronger for You by Giorgio Armani. It's just like that in warm heat. Well, warm weather is just too much, but on a cold day, you're just there. And it's just lovely because it's so strong as well. Like you get wafts of it all day. And it's amazing. That and the Wanted by Night. Wanted by Night is an absolute killer.
Yeah,
absolute killer.
Cool. I think I'm ready to shoot off to bed.
I'm ready to go to bed. Yes, it's been emotional, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in this week.
Appreciate you, John. Just want to say a massive thank you. We've got a big video coming up. I know a few of you guys are on it, but yeah, for people who are not on it, we've got a really cool video coming up in the next week or two. So make sure to look out for that when that comes out.
Yeah, guys, can I ask a favor as well? Obviously, with us doing the live streams as well, with your, I don't know if you've got it already. Obviously, you're already subscribed, but if you hit the notification button, you'll get notified. There you go. It's a cheap little plug. I know. I'm sorry. I'm a sellout. Just hit the notification button, then you'll get notified of us coming live when we do it, because we are also doing not only just the Friday streams. We're also doing kind of like ad hoc streams now and again. Like Wednesday, we did a stream. We did a review of True Romance, and we're going to be kind of doing this kind of style, particularly whilst lockdown and maybe even longer. Should they carry on being successful?
We're going to do some live fragrance reviews as well. So if we get anything new coming in, we'll probably do, rather than an edited fragrance one, we'll probably just come on and do a live review.
Yeah, and who knows, we might get a few of you on the lives in the future. But
Cool.
any suggestions, as always, ping us over a message. We're more than happy to take any suggestions from fragrance or movies, TV. We'll get on. Had a lot of good suggestions within the comments tonight. I think I'm going to go and watch next week. Noble, maybe Casino.
Definitely. Cool. Have a nice weekend, guys, and we'll speak to you
next
soon.
week.
Take care. Bye-bye.